Come on in, guys. Come on in. We are going to have some interesting conversations this evening. Come on in. As you come in, hit that like button if you don't mind. Hey, Tirana, how you doing? Click that like button as we get into Monday Night Mayhem. Howdy, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome to Monday Night Mayhem. We have to get into it tonight. Welcome to our live stream on tonight. Before we get started, if you do not mind going ahead and hitting that like button from the beginning, and then if you don't like the content, then you can go back and undo the like button. But hit that like button at the beginning, help us out a little bit. Oh my goodness. So there have been a lot of things going on. One of the things that you guys know that I have been watching and I have been speaking about on this channel is the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. My God. TJ, hey, how are you? It's a whole lot of going on. And I'm just sitting here like, what? What? Some of this stuff you cannot make up. So one of the things that I want to touch on really quick is because it's shining the light on something. One thing that people tend to overlook is that men are often victims of certain types of abuse. And I know when I use that word, YouTube hits me up every time, but I gotta call it what it is. We hear things, and this is why I have to come at this a little bit different, because I'm not going to give this to you the same way that the other doctors or the other professionals are going to give it to you, because I want to have some realistic conversations about some things. That there are things that certain movements have put into place, and it has caused people to overlook certain things or act like things, don't exist. But when it comes to certain things, like, we have foolishness all the way around. I am watching this trial, and let me press pause because I see one of the members in the chat. Miss Ruby, hey, how you doing? Don't forget, if you would like to become a certified dime, then hit that join button. Go ahead, hit that button. Hit the button. Okay, so I'm watching this thing, y'all, and I'm like, you cannot make this up. Now, you guys know that I have done a lot of videos on narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder, gaslighting, pathological liars, manipulation. I have done, if a video can be made about it, I have put some type of video out to try to give you guys some kind of information on this thing so that you can identify these behaviors when you see it. My God, my God. I am watching this trial, and as of today, I knew it was going to get wild. I knew it was going to get wild just from all of the craziness and the buffale that we have been seeing up to this point. Now, for those of you who aren't watching this trial, I think it behooves all of us to try to pay attention to the things that are going on, because it may not affect us directly, but it definitely affects us indirectly. Even though, the folks may not look like you, they may not sound like you, they may not be in your same financial bracket, but these things affect us all indirectly, and for some people directly. So we're gonna have to get into this, because my goodness, I'm sitting up here working and watching, watching and work, and I'm like, let me rewind that back so I can make sure I heard what I thought I just heard, because sometimes I have a tendency to misunderstand stuff. I might be a little slow sometimes. I had to go back and rewind and see if the goings on was actually what I thought the goings on were. Because sometimes, sometimes we don't quite get it. Sometimes we can be a little bit off, with our perceptions, and we're going to watch this together. And I just want to, I know that the people that come in this chat are highly intelligent people. I know that you guys are highly intelligent people that you can't just be. So I'm going to give you this information, and I want you guys to help me break this down. I want y'all to put on your psychological hats for a minute. Just put on your psychological hats for a minute so I can see if we are all looking at this the same way, because I can't make this stuff up. I literally, we can make up a lot of things, but it would take a good writer. I'm talking about like a writer of the Power series. You understand what I'm saying? It would take a good writer to make some of this stuff up, and to a lot of people it may seem unbelievable, because it's like, what? What? Huh? So I'm going to give you guys a real life, in real time, visual of what this gaslighting and these manipulative behaviors look like. So we're going to look at a little piece of the cross-examination from today. And it wasn't long, but it was effective. So if you are watching this trial, again, I do encourage everybody to watch. I mean, it's really interesting. It shows you what this looks like. All the stuff that we have been talking about and like giving examples of, this is going to be a real example of what this stuff looks like. And guys, tell me what you think in the comments. Just please tell me what you think, because I'm feeling like maybe I need to go see somebody after watching this, because I saw the buffoonery, and it's been on hold for a couple days, couple weeks or whatever. So we got a little break from it, but I'm like, you just can't make this stuff up. So let's get into it. My goodness, let's get into it. And again, tell me what you think. I love to see you guys comment. So just tell me what you just tell me what you think. I don't know what else to say about it. Just tell me what you think. Okay. Let me just let me make myself little in all of this buffoonery and debauchery. Let's get into it. I mean, the lawyer goes in off the top. This is going to be the beginning of Amber Heard's cross-examination in the defamation trial with her and Johnny Depp. Again, Johnny Depp is suing her. She is his ex-wife. He is suing her for defamation of character, going around lying, saying that he did these things to her verbally, physically, sexually, mentally. He did all these things to her, and as a result of that, it damaged his career. He's lost possible acting roles. He's pretty much been blackballed in Hollywood due to the stuff that she put out, this op-ed that she put out, and he's suing her for $50 million. She's countersuing him, for $100 million, saying that he is damaging her reputation. I don't want to take it too far. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get it. We're going to have to start right there. And again, let me try to turn this volume down so you guys aren't getting any feedback on this. So they are coming back in from a break, so they're just scanning the audience. This is one of Johnny Depp's attorneys. This is Amber Heard's attorney. Johnny Depp's attorney is Ms. Vasquez. And she's gonna do her thing. She's definitely gonna do her thing. I'm trying not to take it too far. Okay, the jury's coming back in. Again, this is a civil trial. This is not a criminal trial.
All right. Seated. Cross-examination.
And let's get started. This is the beginning. You guys pay attention. Leave your comments in the chat because I am interested in seeing if y'all see what I see.
Good afternoon, Ms. Heard.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Depp hasn't looked at you once this entire trial, has he?
Not that I've noticed, no.
You've looked at him, though, many times, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
You know exactly why Mr. Depp won't look back at you, don't you?
I do.
He promised you you would never see his eyes again. Isn't that true?
I don't recall if he said that.
One of the last times you ever saw Mr. Depp was when you met him in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
That was the second to last time I saw him, yes.
And this was after you had publicly accused him of domestic violence.
I got my restraining order before that, yes. Mm-hmm.
And this is after you had obtained the domestic violence restraining order against him.
That's correct.
Let's please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 1229. For the record, it's at 11:01 through 12:09. I'm going to ask that it be admitted into evidence.
Any objection to 1229?
Yes.
All right, 1229. You want to enter it in its entirety?
Yes, please.
Okay. 1229 entered in its entirety. Go ahead and play your section.
No. Oh no, I'm not gonna say it all this, everything you just mentioned.
I just wanted to touch you.
Really, after all this shit you just said?
I just wanted to give
After
you
all
a
this
hug.
shit you fucking
Yes,
accused me of?
yes, please stop me. Please stop. Please, I just wanted to hug you and say bye. I didn't want to take it back.
No, because I'm nothing to you. And I will always be nothing to you.
Calm.
Get bloody honest. No, we'll ever see each other again. We want to next. Don't take my fucking glasses off. You don't like fucking looking at not my fucking eyes? You will not see my eyes again.
That's you and Mr. Depp in that recording.
That is.
And this is from when you and Mr. Depp met in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
Yes, that's what it sounds like. That was in the hotel. We met once after that as well.
This is after you publicly accused him of domestic abuse.
Yes, and got my TRO.
And he tells you you will not see my eyes again, doesn't he?
Yes, he does in that recording.
And he kept that promise, hasn't he?
As far as I know, he cannot look at me.
He won't look at you, right, Mr.
He can't.
One of the first questions your counsel asked you on direct is, why are you here? Do you remember that?
I do.
Let's please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 357A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor. And for the record, it's 2122 through 2140.
And see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
Yes.
I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
That's your voice on that recording, right?
Yes, it is.
And you were speaking with Mr. Depp.
Yes.
And you said to Mr. Depp, quote, you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and the judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of domestic violence, end quote. That's what you said, right?
I was saying it to the man who beat me up, yes. I thought it was preposterous.
And the man you beat up numerous times. Right, Ms. Heard?
I could never hurt Johnny.
You're here in this courtroom because Mr. Depp finally told the world that he's a victim of domestic violence.
I know that he is suing me and has sued other people or corporations that have said that as well.
You didn't think he would tell the world he was a victim of domestic violence, did you?
I found it hard to believe that he could or that he would do that, considering the relationship he and I had. I thought it would be crazy for him to do so, knowing what I know we lived through.
Or, as you said to him in that recording, who was going to believe that Johnny Depp, a man, is a victim of domestic violence, right?
With all due respect, I wasn't saying it because he's a man. I was saying it because he's a man who beat me up for 5 years.
Mr. Depp is your victim, isn't he?
No, ma'am.
And once he left you, you continued to abuse him publicly by calling him an abuser, didn't you?
He is an abuser, and you can look either of us up online and figure out who's being abused online.
Let's look at some of that. Mr. Depp wears rings on every finger, doesn't he, Ms. Heard?
That's my experience, yes.
And they're not delicate rings, are they?
No, they are not.
Every one of his fingers is adorned, your words, big, chunky rings. Isn't that right?
That's my experience of him.
And Mr. Depp is always wearing rings, right, Ms. Heard?
That's my experience of him.
And you've never known him not to wear these rings.
And that's my experience, is he normally wore rings, yes.
So Mr. Depp was wearing these big, chunky rings on every finger. Every incident of abuse you've described to this jury, right?
I can't say for certain it was in every single incident.
But you've never known him not to wear rings, right?
In general, my experience with Johnny is that he wears rings almost all the time.
Ms. Heard, do you recall giving testimony in a deposition in this matter in January of this year?
I do.
Can we please play from your deposition, day 2, 512, page 512, lines 11 through 15?
You said he hit you and he was wearing rings, right, Ms. Heard? So he hit you with rings on every finger?
I don't know if I've ever known Johnny to not wear rings.
Yeah.
Ms. Heard, you testified to an incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times. Do you recall that?
That's correct.
And you testified, quote, you don't know how many times he hit you in the face.
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times while he was wearing rings on this occasion, correct?
Which occasion in March are you referencing? You weren't.
The testimony that you gave on day 15 of this trial.
Let me press pause for a second, y'all. Because this lawyer is about to dig in her tail. You hear me? But let me just press pause for a second. Have you guys spotted any lies yet? Because I've spotted at least 3. I have spotted at least 3. I've spotted 3 cases where there was some actual gaslighting as well. But I've definitely spotted 3 lies off the top. And it's more than that. But these are the 3 that I can point out specifically at the beginning. She said that she did not recall him telling her that she would never see his eyes again. So if you guys saw her other testimony, she was so sure of herself and she had so much to say and she kept adding on to. She had to tell these like just over the top stories. And now she doesn't remember anything. So she doesn't recall him saying that once until this recording comes out. Now all of a sudden, he said that. Now you can tell when this thing was said, when it happened, like what was behind what was being said, which comes to the second lie. The lady said, Ms. Vasquez says, so you do know why he won't look at you. I know why he, let me see how she said it. How did she say, I know why he can't look at me? Like, because he did so much stuff to her, he can't look at her now. He told her very specifically, you will never look at my face again. I will never look at you. Our eyes will never meet again. All this stuff you did to me, you don't have to worry about me acknowledging you in any kind of way. He said, you said I don't exist, like I don't exist. I'm nothing to you, then I'm nothing. Like, you don't have to worry about me looking at you again. He said he's not going to do it. And she's like, I know why he can't do it. He's choosing. He's making a conscious decision because that's what he told you that he was going to do or wasn't going to do. And he's following through on that. So it's not that he can't look at you because of something that he necessarily did to you. He told you he wasn't going to look at you and that you would not look him in his eyes again and he would not look you in your eyes. Like, why are we trying to change that? This is a form of gaslighting. You're going to try to change it. So we just heard what was said in this recording. And you're just going to turn it around? Okay, the third lie. What she's getting into right now are the rings on all the fingers. She testified before that he just beat her to a pulp. He beat her to a pulp and she emphasized before, and you see it in the trial, he wears these chunky rings on each one of his fingers. All of his phalanges, he has rings on. And the point that the lawyer was trying to get her to see, because before she emphasized this stuff, he always wears rings. Okay, well, where are the bruises? Because she said he beat her to the point where she didn't even remember how many times she had got hit. And that's why they're stuck on this ring thing. Like you said, this man had all these rings on his fingers. Like, we're not going to let you take that back. We're not going to let you take back what you said in your other testimony. So they got to give her a little reminder. Now she's going to come with the gaslighting again. And this little attorney right here, this woman is sharp. You hear me? She is not having it. So y'all just watch. I'll read your comments while we watch. And just, Lord, she about to hand it to her.
March of 2013. You weren't specific as to the day.
There were several incidents.
The one where he hit you several times in the face.
I'm sorry, just so I understand better. There were several incidents in March. Which one are you asking me about?
The time that he hit you several times in the face wearing rings.
Well, he pretty much
March
always...
of 2013.
Right. What are you asking me? I'm sorry.
He was wearing rings on that occasion?
I pretty much always knew him to wear rings.
Okay, let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 170A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor. You testified that this is a picture you took after that incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that was one where he grabbed me.
And hit you in the face so many times that you don't remember. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And there's no injuries to your face in this picture, are there?
Not that this picture shows.
And there's no medical records reflecting that you sought treatment after this alleged incident either.
I did not seek medical treatment at this time.
So there's no medical records reflecting any injuries to your face after he hit you several times,
I did not need to go to the doctor at the time.
despite hitting you several times that you lost count with rings on his fingers.
That's correct. I did not seek medical attention, other than my therapist.
You testified to another incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp.
We're gonna pause that right there. Okay, you see where she has this bruise on her arm. Mind you, this is her left arm. She's right-handed. I just want to put that out there. But mind you, this was her left arm. She happened to take pictures and record everything. She had a camera out for everything. This is the only picture that she submitted. What she was trying to do was get the attorney to tell her what day she said it was. And you see, the attorney wasn't trying to help her on anything. Like, okay, you said it was in March. When? No, you remember everything else with a clear mind. Sound mind and body. No, you tell me what day it was in March. I put this picture on pause right here so that you guys could see her face, what the attorney was referring to at that time. She's showing a bruise on her arm. She's not showing any bruises on her face. And this was the day that she said that he was just hitting her in the face continuously with the fist that had all the rings on all the fingers. So this is what they're coming at her with right now, and this is what she's stumbling on. Let me carry on.
Hit you while he was wearing a lot of rings. Do you remember that testimony?
Right, sipping, right.
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified you felt like your lip went through your teeth and it got a little blood on the wall.
Yes, I remember that.
There isn't a picture of you with injuries after that alleged incident, is there?
I don't know if I've seen one. I can't recall. There are a lot of pictures.
You didn't produce any photographs after that alleged incident, did you?
I don't know if I took one or if it's included. I'm not quite sure which ones.
You didn't show any pictures to the jury after describing that alleged incident that your lip went into your teeth. You don't remember that, right? You didn't show any pictures to the jury after describing that incident, right?
I don't believe I've seen that picture admitted.
The picture doesn't exist.
That picture doesn't exist.
I don't know which one you're talking about. We have pictures from March 2013, yes.
The only picture that you've produced and shown to the jury is the one that was just put up on the screen, where you said he hit you multiple times in the face, and you appear to have what is a bruise on your arm, correct?
I believe this is the only picture that's in evidence right now.
It's the only picture you've shown to the jury from March 2013, correct?
I believe so.
Yes or no?
You testified about an incident in Russia on or about June 26, 2013. Do you remember that?
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that Mr. Depp, quote, whacked you in the face.
That's correct.
And you went to the bathroom after that, right?
I did.
And then, according to your testimony,
Right, Lady
you came out of the
Sunshine.
bathroom. Jerry Judge, Mr. Depp's security guard, who's passed away, pointed out that your nose was bleeding, right?
He did that in the hallway.
And you said you hadn't known that your nose was bleeding until Jerry Judge pointed it out to you?
Yes, that's correct. I was unaware until he brought it out to me. I didn't see it when I was in the bathroom, but I wasn't looking.
So it's your testimony that you went into the bathroom and didn't look in the mirror, which I assume was in the bathroom, to notice that your nose was bleeding?
That's not why I went into the bathroom. I went into the bathroom crying. I don't even know if I paid attention to the mirror. I certainly didn't enough to notice any blood.
And you didn't take any pictures of your bloody nose either, did you?
I did not.
But pictures were taken of you in Russia, though. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We had a press or a dinner.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1248. Ms. Heard, this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp in Russia, correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to move to admit
All right, no objection. 1248 in evidence.
Now, I don't know if you guys noticed the smirk on her face.
And this is you and Mr. Depp in Russia for the Lone Ranger premiere, correct?
It was a dinner function, I believe, in promotion of the movie. Wasn't the premiere, if I recall.
You don't have any visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
That one be visible.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1249. This is a picture of you, isn't it right?
That's correct.
I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 1249.
All right, 1249 in evidence.
This is also a picture from when you were in Russia for the Lone Ranger premiere, right?
That is correct.
And you have no visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Even though Mr. Depp whacked you in the face so hard that your nose bled
He did.
while wearing chunky big rings, right?
That's correct.
You also testified that Mr. Depp, again, whacked you in the face after the Met Gala in May of 2014, right?
That is correct.
You testified that you thought he hit you so hard he broke your nose.
That's correct.
You said your nose was, quote, swollen, discolored, red.
That is correct. I took a picture of that.
You testified you took a picture of your face after this.
I did.
But you didn't show that picture to the jury, did you?
I would like to.
But you didn't show it, did you?
That's not up to me.
I understand you were under an obligation to produce all photographs after any alleged incidents of violence, right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
You didn't produce any photographs after the Met Gala.
I produced everything.
You also understand that you're under an obligation to produce all medical records reflecting any injuries you allegedly sustained from Mr. Depp, correct?
That's correct.
And you haven't produced any pictures or any medical records reflecting a broken nose after the Met Gala in May of 2014, have you?
I have given everything to my lawyers. Everything. I've turned over literally everything that I have.
Is it your testimony, Ms. Heard, that you sought medical treatment after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose after the Met Gala?
Not after the Met Gala. I did not seek medical attention, no.
You also attended an event after the Met Gala in May of 2014, didn't you?
That is correct.
And you went to the All-Star Comedy Tribute to Don Rickles.
That is correct.
That was the next night after the Met Gala.
That is correct.
And there were pictures of you taken at this event.
Yes.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1252. This is a picture of you, Ms. Heard,
Yes, it is.
at that event,
Yes, it is.
the night after the Met Gala,
Yes, it is.
the night after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose.
I'm not sure if it was broken, for the record, but yeah, you should see what it looked like underneath the makeup.
He whacked you so hard in the face that you thought you had broken your nose.
Exactly.
Permission to admit this photograph.
All right, 1252 in evidence.
That is a picture of you, Mr. Depp, and Don Rickles, right?
That is correct.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1253. This is another picture from that evening, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, it is.
Permission to admit Exhibit 1253 and publish it.
All right, so moved. 1253 in evidence.
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp at the event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he had broken your nose.
He did whack me in the face, and I did think it broke my nose.
And this is you the night after.
Yes, it is.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254. This is also a picture of you at the same event, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254.
All right, 1254 in evidence. Publish.
Just to confirm now that the jury can see it, this is a picture of you at the same event, the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he broke your nose.
This
Beautiful.
is a picture of me after he did whack me in the face.
The night after, right?
Yes, it is. I believe it was the night after, yes.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Miss Heard?
I'm wearing makeup.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Miss Heard?
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
Yes or
Makeup
no?
covers up swelling, right?
Makeup will not cover up swelling. Ice will, though.
Ice will cover up swelling?
Ice reduces swelling. The swelling after that kind of injury is not as bad as you might imagine. And for me, it wasn't that bad. I have a picture of it underneath the makeup. That's how I know how to reference it.
A picture you haven't produced or shown
I
to
did.
this jury, right, Miss Heard?
I produced everything.
But you haven't shown it to this jury.
I would very much like to. It's not my job.
Mm.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
Is she throwing her attorneys under the bus? She's saying that there's evidence that could have shown that he abused her. She had physical evidence, and her attorneys didn't present that evidence because they had pictures of everything else. As a matter of fact, a lot of the pictures that are being shown were submitted by her attorneys. I mean, what you guys think? Do you think that makeup? She said she was using some eye makeup. You think that makeup is gonna cover all that up? I got bumps on my face right now that came from out of nowhere, and the makeup ain't covering that up. How in the world is it covering up a whole broken nose and busted eyes? And you know, a lot of times you have a broken nose, you end up with bruises under your eyes. Not saying this all the time, but you know, like, does makeup cover up all that, the swelling, and does ice cover it up? Or make it go down that quickly? Tell me what y'all think, because I'm saying maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I could be looking at it wrong now. I stand to be corrected. So her attorney didn't produce the photo. That exactly. So your attorney didn't show, like, that's a major piece of evidence, because everybody's saying that you're saying all this stuff happened to you, and you got pictures of some things, but like that major stuff, especially a busted up nose, you didn't take pictures of that. You taking pictures of your arm, which you weren't even talking about with that. You were talking about, like, you're not going to show that one. Like, she literally took pictures and recorded everything. Like, why wouldn't you, like, demand that your attorney show that picture? Because it corroborates your story. Like, why wouldn't you demand that? Stand up, be kind of, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Like, you know what I mean? So it's, one other thing that I want you guys to take note, or one thing that I took notice of, how her demeanor changed. Not just from her behavior last week, but how her demeanor changed from her questioning this morning, because they finished up with her questioning this morning from her side. And then the cross-examination this afternoon was fairly quickly. It was like just the last part of the evening. And they ended it. It was perfect. Anyway, but her demeanor has completely changed. And I also find it interesting how she keeps speaking to the jury. When it comes to answering certain things, she's turning to the jury. But I can also see that the confidence that she had on last week, when she was given the floor, she was given the stage, and she was allowed to act. And for me, just my opinion, when she was allowed to put on a show, she was a lot more confident about what she was doing. She was sitting with her chest sticking out. Her body language was completely different. And this one, you see her slumping down a lot. Her shoulders are going down. She also, to me, has a look of defeat on her face at some points, because she realized that this lawyer has hemmed her up. She's really hemmed her up. And I think it's also bothering her that Johnny Depp is not paying her any attention. I mean, he is a master at it. He is definitely a professional at not paying her any attention. So when he said that he wasn't gonna, yeah. Right, stand up. Like, what she is really, when she's answering those questions, trying to prove that she's right, she's looking, every time she looks to her right, well, it's her right on here, she's looking over at the jury. And if I was on the jury, I'd be like, why are you looking at us? We're not talking to you. She's talking to you. Why are you looking at us? Like, but that's just me. That's just me. You know, I can be a little off sometimes. But I mean, you can just see, and we're gonna let this go on, but just look at her, just really watch her mannerisms. And when she sees that people aren't buying into what she's saying, especially with this attorney, y'all, she gets pissed off. You hear me? This attorney got under her skin, and I'm so glad that they chose a young woman to do this, because there's certain things I feel like if the male attorney would have came to her, then people would have said he was wrong, he was too rough on her. She's a female, like whatever. So I'm glad that they allowed this female attorney, a little feisty attorney, to go and have this dialogue with her and cut through the mess. You know, she cutting through all the BS with this. So let's get back into this.
Ms. Heard, you testified that in January of 2015, there was an incident in Tokyo before Mr. Depp's Mordecai, the film Mordecai's premiere. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you told this jury that on this occasion, Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back.
That's correct, in the closet.
And you also told this jury that you wore a backless dress to the Mordecai premiere that very same night.
I did.
And you testified that you were checking for bruises in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were, quote, no visible marks, right?
I was checking on my phone after the event to make sure that they couldn't see anything.
Your testimony was that you were checking in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were no marks on your back.
Perhaps I misspoke or misunderstood. It was on the way back from it. Was after I was concerned. After, concerned that there would be marks in any photographs, since we were being photographed at Johnny's press event.
And you didn't show this jury a picture of you in that backless dress, though, did you?
I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry.
You didn't show this jury a picture of you at the Mordecai premiere wearing a backless dress, did you?
I haven't had the opportunity to.
Okay.
I assume you have it?
I do. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1256. This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp, or the back of you, at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit and publish this picture.
Part 1256 in evidence.
Back looks good to me. What y'all think? Nice tattoo.
This is you in the backless dress at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, right?
That is correct.
You would agree that there are no bruises or visible marks on your back in this picture.
No, not that I could see.
I'll show you one other photo. If we could please have Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257. This is a front angle picture of you and Mr. Depp at that premiere, correct?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257.
All right, 1257 in evidence.
I'll show you one more picture. Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258. And again, Ms. Heard, this is you and Mr. Depp at the Mordecai premiere.
Yes, it is.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258.
All right, 1258 in evidence. Published.
And that's the backless dress, right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
You also told this jury about an incident in Australia in March of 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that after this alleged incident, you had cuts on your forearms, right?
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had cuts on the bottoms of your feet as well.
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had a bruise across your jaw from when Mr. Depp, quote, clocked you in the face, end quote.
That's true.
You didn't take any pictures of these injuries while you were in Australia, did you?
I don't think I took any pictures.
You just took 2 pictures of Mr. Depp's writing on a mirror. Isn't that right?
I believe so, yes.
So you had your phone on you, right?
At some point, I did have my phone.
And your iPad?
I had my iPad, I believe.
And you testified that you were also raped with a liquor bottle in Australia, right, Miss Hurd?
Yes.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
Yes.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Not for the rape?
No, I did not want to tell anyone.
Not for the cuts?
No,
Not for the injuries to your face?
I didn't need to.
You also told the jury about an incident on December 15, 2015, right?
Where? I'm sorry.
December 15th, 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You told the jury that after this incident, you had a broken nose.
It certainly felt like it.
Sir, do you recall giving testimony on day 16 in this trial? You were
Yes, I
an
did.
oath, right?
Yes.
The jury?
Okay. All right. We'll get it.
Smirk.
I will do. Thank you, Judy.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
All right. Yes, ma'am.
And would you like a copy?
Yes, please.
If I can please direct your attention, Ms. Hurd, to page of day 16, 4593, the jury trials transcript. Lines 8 through 13,
On which page? I'm sorry.
4593.
Yes.
Starting on line 8. I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly thought, start over. I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly that I had a broken nose. There was blood everywhere, blood all over the pillows. My head was bleeding from the ripped out hair, chunks of hair on the floor, all over the place actually. So lines 9, that I had a broken nose. Do you recall giving that testimony, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, exactly.
So you had a broken nose, right?
That's absolutely what I thought.
You told the jury that you had 2 black eyes after this incident, right?
I did have 2 black eyes after that incident.
And you testified that you also had a busted lip from when Mr. Depp punched you.
That is correct. From December, yes, that's correct.
You testified that the lip wound kept reopening when you moved your mouth.
That's correct.
You also testified that you had bruising on your temple
That's correct.
and bruising on your chin.
Correct.
You also testified that your head was bleeding from where Mr. Depp ripped chunks of your hair out,
I remember, yes.
and that you had, quote, gross, pussy, and, quote, bruising around your temple.
In my scalp, yeah.
Now, for this incident, you did take pictures,
That's correct.
and we will look at some of those in a minute, but I first want to talk to you about your appearance on the James Corden show.
Sure. Can I close this?
Sure. You appeared on the James Corden show the day after this alleged incident, right?
I did.
And that was December 16th, 2015?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please pull up a clip of your appearance from that evening. If we could, Plaintiff's Exhibit 35. And for the record, we will only claim a portion of this, so we will call it Plaintiff's Exhibit 35A.
All right, any objection? 35A in evidence.
To the jury, we may have it please published.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies. If we can please start that over.
Start it over, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor. That was you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Mr.?
That was.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 98. These are pictures of you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Mr.?
They look like freeze frames, like screen grabs. Stills. They're not like it's not like a photo shoot, it doesn't seem.
But on the James Corden show, correct?
From that appearance, yes.
Move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 98.
Evening. All right, Mr. Brennan, you can move the microphone and turn it on for you, so Judy and I are having trouble hearing you.
Sorry about that.
All right, thank you. All right, 98 in evidence. Thank you.
That's a photo of you opening your mouth on the right?
That's correct.
And again, a larger view of the same photo on the bottom
That's correct.
with a split lip.
You've seen pictures of it without makeup.
So you had a
Yes,
split lip when you
I
were
sure
moving
did.
your mouth that way
I sure did.
in those photographs.
Okay, press pause
Absolutely.
for a second. Press pause for a second. Because the point that she is trying to make right here, I don't know if you guys have ever had a split lip or a fissure. Sometimes it's called a fissure, like a small cut that may be in the corner of your lip, like in that very corner, it's just a little slit, almost like a little paper cut, but it's in your lip. Or if your lips are like extra dry, or they get chapped, and you like me, I peel my lips a lot, and you have that little cut in your lip. The point that she is trying to make is the way that woman was holding her mouth wide like that. If you have a cut on your lip, unless you have some super bionic powers, you're not doing that. You are not doing that because the mess hurt like crap. Okay? The mess hurts like crap. You can open your mouth wide with a split on this. No, not saying that you can't open it. The mess hurts. The mess hurt. It doesn't matter where that split is. Even if you got it and you're brushing your teeth. I know for me, I gotta like put my finger right here and hold that thing and like get to work. You see what I'm saying? I gotta hold that thing in place. Because if not, it'll split some more. Like it's like a little paper cut. It's like y'all know. And the way that she had her mouth, this is like one of those little camera things that you can go and you're doing all the pictures in the camera and you holding your mouth open like that and you have a busted lip. She didn't have just a split lip from just a little split. She said he busted her lip. So this is just something to think about. Is it possible that she still had a busted lip? We're looking at the pictures. Her lip isn't busted in the pictures. Also, if your lip is busted, it is swollen. There is some swelling in that spot. You got a little lump right there. You got a little heel. You got a little knot up there from your lip being busted. Like it's a little puffy. You got a little, you look like you done been in a little fight from the pressure. So I think the thing is right here, like it's just not adding up. Now keep in mind, at the beginning of all of this, She said that she was wearing Milani. She was wearing she was wearing Milani, and she was covering up her bruises with the make. That's what her attorney said. She called it the bruise kit. Now I ain't seen any makeup on in this world. Now we can cover up a few things, but you ain't covering up everything. That's just not impossible. It's just not impossible. And they're using high definition cameras and all this kind of stuff. That stuff is gonna show. No, I'm saying she had a split and she opened her mouth. Right. My bad. Right. I'm like, that mess hurt. I'm telling y'all, that mess. It hurts. It hurts. Oh Lord, it hurts so good. It hurts. All right, y'all. Let's get back into this. But this going into like, seriously? This what you say? And the thing is, and this is another thing, just observing her behavior. And I know that people can go through stuff and still put on, right? But if she was able to put on to that extent after what she went through less than 24 hours prior, then she is the GOAT. She is definitely the GOAT, because she seemed like she was all into that story, and so she's the GOAT. Not saying it can't happen, but a lot of her things and the way things happen and the time frame, a lot of the stuff is just not adding up. She's making it really hard. She's making it really hard, y'all. All right, let me stop talking and get back into this. Now she's trying to make a tear
You did
come
take
up.
pictures of your alleged injuries after December 15th, correct? And you showed those to the jury?
I sure did, yes.
Okay. Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 516, which is already in evidence. Testified that this is a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015, right?
It was.
And if we could also please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 517, which is also in evidence.
Sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is also a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015.
See, now you see a
Correct.
busted lip. We see a busted lip.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 409, which is already in evidence.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
These pictures ended up in People magazine in June of 2016. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You gave these pictures to People magazine after you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic abuse, didn't you?
I didn't personally know.
This was you protecting Mr. Depp after you got the restraining order against him, isn't it?
No, this is him calling me a liar and me forcing to prove it, as I mentioned to you earlier.
So you did give these pictures to People magazine?
No, I gave these pictures actually to my lawyers and my representatives at the time.
So it's your testimony, Ms. Heard, that your lawyers and representatives gave these pictures of their client to People magazine in the middle of a contentious divorce?
I certainly did not personally give it, no.
There's the lie. Personally, that means I didn't put it in their hands.
You also have a medical record from after the December 15th, 2015 incident, don't you?
A partial one, yes.
You went to see Dr. Kipper's office a couple days later.
That's right. He wasn't in the office.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 47, which is already in evidence?
Look at the
It's
lady.
your medical record
Okay,
for
let me go
December
back.
17th, 2015, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
I don't think so, no. I don't think I spoke to Kipper. I didn't speak to Kipper that day. And
But you
I
went
didn't,
to Dr. Kipper's office and were seen, correct?
I went to Dr. Kipper's office for a concussion check.
Right. Okay. And this medical record is from that visit, correct?
Partially, yes.
Scroll down, please. If we could.
Partially. That's a full H&P right there. That's a full-blown H&P, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Signature,
That's
Kipper,
yeah.
down below.
That's a full
This is the
H&P.
entirety of the medical record. Right, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, what I meant by partial is I didn't talk about what happened to me. I didn't get into my injuries. I didn't get into what happened or ask
Press
for
pause.
anything other than
Press pause, because I need to see y'all comments. Y'all, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Let me do this real quick. What are we doing here? Okay. When I say this woman is gaslighting this jury, and I pray that they can see through it. What are we doing? What you see is not really what you see. What I said is not really what I said. What you heard is not really what you thought you heard. Like, you have a full record. That's a full history and physical right there that is signed off by the doctor, put in her file. And she's sitting there with a straight face saying that she does not have a full record. It's a partial record. That's the full record. That's page 1 and page 2. That's page 1 of 2 and page 2 of 2. That is the full record. That is a lie. You literally sat there and you lied to the jury. And the thing is, you don't have to tell them, oh, I have a bruise under my eye, I have a bruise on my nose, or what. When they see it, they're going to document it. If they see that you have a bruised nose, they're going to document it. If they see that you have bruises under your eyes, on your cheeks, they're going to document that. You don't have to say a thing. And if they think that it is related to a domestic violence incident, they're going to document that too. Better believe it. So even though you said, oh, I fell. If they look at this thing and they see all this other stuff, because they know that if you fell or if you ran into a door, it's certain things that's not going to be caused by that, it will be documented. So if something happens, because they have a duty. So if something happens, why would you get in front of that jury and again try to handle them like they are slow? This is part of your H&P when you go to the hospital. Sometimes you don't even realize that they even checking for this stuff, but they are checking. You come in for certain things, just like if a child comes in for certain things. Once they come in for this, and they listening for other stuff too. Don't let nobody fool you just because they didn't say, oh, well, did this happen? They're looking, they're checking for these things. So it's not something that you even got to come out and say. And if you coming in saying that you got a concussion and you're a grown woman and you didn't get into a fight or anything, and your story just sound like, okay, why would you have a concussion? They're going to be asking questions and they're going to be taking notes. That's how that works. Whether you want them to or not, they're going to do it. They checking. Have you hemmed up at the doctor's office and you don't even know why you hemmed up because that ain't the story that you told them, but that's what they gathered from it, and they're going to go a little bit deeper with it. So it's the gaslighting for me. I'm saying it's the gaslighting for me. That's why I can't just come and try to give y'all, oh, well, I'm looking at the diagnosis and I'm sitting. No, this is far beyond that. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're looking at this mess that she got going on right now because this is a complete and utter mess. Let's get back into this thing. You even see here, this wasn't even stuff that she did. Walking, slurred speech, memory loss, poor coordination, seizures, paralysis. And this is what I guess, I wish I could, hold on, let me see if I can read this thing. Hold up. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me see if I can get this thing frozen so we can read what's on this thing.
Sugar.
Press pause.
No sign.
Press pause, okay. Male? What the what? Okay, well-nourished male, NAD, alert, oriented times 4, intact, normal color, moisture. Here it is. They did examine her. It's right here. Skin intact, normal color, moisture, hair distribution. And she said that he pulled out some of her hair and it was bleeding. Texture, turgor, all this stuff. They looked at her eyes, they looked at the mucous membranes, nail bed to see if there were any signs of, some kind of struggle or something right there. Jaundice, they looked at her eyes, they looked at her throat. They didn't see anything there. Trachea, midline. No Carteret Brutes. Noted. Hold up. What else we got right here?
Of, this is going to be hard. Cyanosis, mottling, jaundice.
It also says I'm a well-nourished male.
Right. I have no idea what that means.
I think this medical record's missing a lot of things.
There it is.
It doesn't document any physical injuries.
Doesn't seem to be documenting anything.
Oh, but it does. Put it back
because there was nothing to document, right, Miss Heard?
Too much. Too much.
You don't have any medical records.
I must have went backwards. Okay, here we go.
Correct?
I went to Dr. Kipper.
Okay, phone consultation, headache. Miss Amber Heard, 23, I can't even read. 29-year-old English-speaking Caucasian female with the past medical history of insomnia, anxiety, and attention deficit disorder. Today, the patient reports a headache after she bumped her head while standing. Today, the patient reports a headache after she bumped her head while standing up 2 days ago. She bumped her head while standing up. Okay. Did she run into something? Did she hit the wall? Did the wall hit her? Did something fall out of the sky? She just bumped her head while she was standing. No loss of consciousness, no nausea, no vomiting, no change in mental status or vision changes. Last seen 12/23/2015. Hold up. This was 12/17/2015. That's interesting. The patient has not experienced any cardiovascular events. Symptomatically, she denies chest pains. Ankle. She denies palpitations. Insomnia. Anxiety. Attention deficit disorder. Home medications. It's covered up. Gabapentin. Xanax. Why is she taking 2 different types of gabapentin? Interesting. Okay, let's see if we can get some more of this. Hold up. Let me just let it play and see if it'll show some more of this.
That's correct.
And this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
She's taking 300 milligrams and 100.
I don't think so, no. I don't think I spoke to Kipper. I didn't speak to Kipper that day. And
but you went to Dr. Kipper's office and were seen, correct?
I went to Dr. Kipper's office for a concussion check.
Right. Okay. And this medical record is from that visit, correct?
Partially, yes.
Partially.
Scroll down, please.
No known drug allergies. Pose. Heart rate 66 and regular. Respiration 14. I cannot read that. Systolic 122. 90. Temperature, that looks like 98. Pulse, oximetry 98. Nothing noted on her back. Extremities, no clubbing. No edema noted. Nothing noted on her upper or lower extremities. Patient is awake, alert, and fully oriented. There's no evidence of cognitive or language dysfunction. Cranial nerves, visual fields are full. I cannot read that. Ocular, so it has something to do with eyes, movement, full assessment. I cannot read the whole thing, but it says Dr. Kipper aware of the medical something and is in agreement. The patient understands medical plan and is in agreement. Patient understands medical plan. All questions answered. The patient was told to contact Dr. Kipper on or Monroe if there are any. Let's see what else is on here. Press pause. Discussion, interval history, symptoms, exam, lifestyle. Over the counter, Tylenol, OTC, Tylenol 650 milligrams every 8 hours. Ibuprofen 600 milligrams every 12 hours for headache. Reassurance. The flip. Okay, patient was told to contact Dr. Kipper or Monroe. This is a nurse practitioner. If there are any questions or changes to health, the patient was also instructed to go directly to the emergency room or dial 911 should she experience dizziness. Okay, that's where this came in at: dizziness, extreme sleepiness, breathing problems, nausea, vomiting, confusion, difficulty walking, slurred speech, memory loss, poor coordination, seizures, or numbness or paralysis in any part of her body. Yes, they did a full-blown H&P on her.
Kipper
She had a
down
full-blown
below. This is the entirety of the medical record.
assessment
Right,
done
Lisa?
that day.
Yes, what I meant by partial is I didn't talk about what happened to me. I didn't get into my injuries. I didn't get into what happened or ask for anything other than should I get some sort of scan done.
All right, but this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
No, it does not.
I'd have to read it in full, but I don't know.
Well, let's do that. We could please go. Well, under skin on the second page, it reads impact,
Child.
color, moisture, hair distribution, texture, turgor. No signs of. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Cyanosis.
Yeah,
Modeling
child. It's the
jaundice.
words for me.
It also says a mobile, nourished male.
Right. I have no idea what that means.
They just left the fee
I
off.
think
That's
this
all. They left the
Medical
fee off.
records missing a lot of things.
Yeah, it doesn't document any physical injuries.
Doesn't seem to be documenting anything.
But it is. It's
Probably
saying
because
what's
it was
not
a
wrong.
document,
It's
right?
showing all the things that are not going on. They have to document what they see and the stuff that they
You don't have any
see.
medical records
like what they
reflecting
don't
that you
see.
broke
They
your
have to
nose
document
during
it
your
all the way
relationship with Mr.
around.
Depp, do you?
I saw an ENT after my relationship ended.
She
And you saw
saw.
an ENT. It's your testimony under oath that you saw an ENT for broken noses that you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp.
No, but the ENT told me I sustained
Objection.
multiple fractures.
I'm
Hearsay, child. Okay. I know y'all not slow, but for those that don't know what the ENT is, that's the ear, nose, and throat doctor. So she's saying that the ENT, she went to the ENT after all this stuff was over, and now they're telling her something. Now you're speaking on the ENT. She is not here to say if what you're saying is true or false. That's why this is about to get shut down. Oh my.
I'll
move to strike.
I'll sustain the objection. I'm moving to strike.
Thank you. So again, just to try my
Look at the
question.
female
There's no
attorney at the
medical
back
records
smiling.
reflecting that you broke your nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp. Is there, Ms. Heard?
I don't know what made it in evidence, but I do know that I documented that visit and that everything was given to my attorneys.
Ms. Heard, you never went to see any doctor or surgeon to treat a broken nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp. Yes or no?
I never sought treatment for broken nose while I was with Johnny.
Or after you were with Mr. Depp as a result of any injuries you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp.
Afterwards, yes, I did.
And you didn't produce those medical records in this case.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. She did.
I did.
I don't.
They have not been produced. Your
Did
Honor.
they not only? All right, if you would do. Good approach.
Let's get it. Okay, while they are doing that, what did you guys think? To me, it's a lot of lying. She's doing a lot of lying. And I know everybody's situation is different. Everyone has a different situation. You're not going to walk around, especially a female. Your nose is broken. Number one, if your nose is broken, it's broke. You know what I'm saying? You got something going on. You got a little hump. It might be twisted to the side. Like something's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not something that goes away in a day or two. Like your eyes could be black for weeks. That's not something that just goes away overnight. So let's get back into it.
You don't have any medical records reflecting that you required any dental work during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
She didn't think about that one.
No. I don't recall.
You don't recall one way or another seeking dental care for any injuries you allegedly sustained?
You asked me about if I had produced records or if I had records. That's a different question.
Did you ever see a dentist or an oral surgeon as a result of any injuries you sustained with Mr. Depp?
Not about any injury I had from Johnny, no.
And you don't have any medical records reflecting that you required any reconstructive work during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
I never required reconstructive work, so there would be no records.
What you do have, Miss Heard, are pictures of Mr. Depp sleeping, though, right? The jury saw a lot of those.
Yes.
Sir, let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1090, which is already in evidence.
Right, Carla. She's tearing that water up, child.
You took this photograph, right, Miss Heard?
That's correct.
And you testified that this was taken in Tokyo in July 2013, correct?
Yes.
So you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep on the floor?
He was passed out,
That's
and I
amazing.
took a picture of him because he wouldn't remember. He claimed he didn't pass out that way. And sometimes security would carry him like a baby into bed, get him changed, and he would be none the wiser. So I started taking pictures of it so that he knew that it was real, that it had gotten this bad.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1091, which is already in evidence. You took this picture as well.
Yes.
And this is the picture that was taken in the Bahamas, right?
It's one of them, yes.
And this is a picture of Mr. Depp taking a nap on his tropical island.
I believe he was on the nod, but as he would say.
Sleeping on the nod on his island.
They're very different, in my opinion. And yes, he is on the island.
On vacation.
We were on vacation, yes.
Let's also take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1092, which is also in evidence. We also took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct. I did.
And this is another picture of Mr. Depp asleep in a chair.
No, he was nodding off. Sleep is different. When you're nodding off, you're high on drugs. Didn't even feel the cigarette in his hand that had, been burning on his leg. It was cause for alarm for me, naturally, because I cared about him.
I'm going to press pause on this
Testimony under
one.
oath that Mr. Depp
Hold up.
was holding a cigarette in his picture.
He had been.
Seemed to really like taking pictures of Mr. Depp while he's sleeping.
I hated it.
Let's look at Defendant's Exhibit 1094, which is also in evidence.
Hold on, let me let this go a little bit more.
You took this picture of Mr. Depp as well, didn't you?
I did.
And you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him, right?
He was nodding off, and I was worried about how bad the medications and the medication change and the drug use had gotten, where he wouldn't even feel ice cream or a lit cigarette on him, and it scared me.
So you
Really?
took a picture of it.
Yes, I wanted him to get help, and Johnny's surrounded by enablers who clean up after him. and
Objection,
protect
Your
him.
Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after yes. That she took
The thing is that she would be an enabler as
The
well.
question was, did you take this picture?
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes or no,
This
ma'am?
isn't a very flattering picture of Mr. Depp, is it?
No, it's not.
I mean, you wouldn't agree that this is, or you would agree with me that this is an embarrassing scene, right?
Yes, I think it's a part of getting help is looking at it, seeing it.
But you sent this picture to one of your friends, didn't you?
I don't recall.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 252. We'll only be looking at the portion of this document, so if we could please call it Defendant's Exhibit 252A.
252A.
And for ease, we've gone ahead and redacted it.
She knows she sent that picture, y'all.
Yes, I was asking for support. That's correct.
There's no question yet, Ms. Heard. So directing your attention, I'm going to need to admit.
Gosh. Let me just stop for a minute. Miss Vasquez is on it, doggone it. Oh my God. There's no question. I didn't even ask you a question. What are you responding to, ma'am? Because when I asked you a few minutes ago, you said you didn't recall. So what are you responding to, ma'am? Like, she is a mess. Her ultimate goal was to embarrass him and to use some of that stuff against him so she would have some things to hold over his head, which is what she did. That's exactly what she did. And what they're trying to get at, you're taking all these pictures of him when he's drunk, but the minute where you got some stuff that's like visible and people can really see that he did all this stuff to you, you're not taking pictures of that, but you're taking pictures of him with ice cream on his lap. Like, come on. Which one was more important? Let's go on back. Let her finish.
Exhibit 252A.
Any objection? Any objection, Ms. Frederick? Could you turn on your microphone again? Thank you.
I need to see it first because I
Okay.
don't know what they redacted.
252.
We redacted the identifiers and anything that's not misheard
Up or down.
text messages consistent with hearsay.
She sent the picture of him to her friend, embarrassing him because she wanted him to get help. What was her friend going to do? Other than send the picture to somebody else.
You remember we approached?
Okay.
Or possibly sell it to a media outlet. That lady facial expression, she is just getting me back there. She is killing me with her, the lady with the black hair with the glasses. She is hilarious. Miss Amber is upset. That mouth is tight. And she keeps looking at him like she wants him to look up at her, and he just will not do it. She is tight. Johnny's staring at a blank screen and doodling on a piece of paper. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. That has to hurt a little bit. The person that you said you loved and y'all had all this interaction and all this stuff, and you're still on the stand talking about how much you loved him and all this stuff, and he won't even look up at you. That has to hurt. But she's definitely playing to this jury. She's definitely playing to this jury. And it's that would be something I would be looking at like, really, like, why are you watching us instead of watching the person that's asking you the questions? Like, answer the person that's talking to you. Again, it's not about putting on a show for the jury. But whatever works, I guess. I don't know. Let's see if y'all saying anything. Especially with the broken nose, those eyes would have been purple. Right. This is some type of humiliation. She caught up. They won't let. They won't let her out. She did this, y'all. I mean, the theatrics from her whenever it was her time with her attorneys, and I mean it was just so the theatrics were ridiculous, all the facial expressions. When I mean she took acting to like she was overacting, not overreacting, but overacting. Like if she was auditioning for a movie, they were like, girl, what
Sir,
is
just
wrong with you?
refresh your recollection that you did in fact send this picture to your friend Rocky Pennington?
Yes, I did.
And you sent it to her on August 7th, 2014 at 11:24 p.m. correct?
That is correct.
So you sent Miss Pennington this picture of Mr. Depp with ice cream spilled on him, right?
That is correct.
And you wrote, quote, "This is what I've been dealing with," end quote. Did I read that right?
You did read that right. That's correct.
And this is you protecting Mr. Depp.
That is me getting support from my best friend.
Make
This
up
is
your
you
mind
supporting
now.
Mr. Depp.
This is me getting support from my best friend. I also need support.
You weren't afraid the monster would get upset that you took this picture?
This was Opiate Johnny. This is a different version of him. This is Opiate on the Nod Johnny.
And you weren't afraid that Opiate Johnny or the
Okay, so
monster
let me
would-
press pause. So this is what I was gonna say. She's showing the pictures of him with the nod. And he has admitted to having an opioid addiction since he was a child, actually using his mother, I think it was his mom's medication. Like he's been dealing with opioid abuse for years. Okay, and then you put the alcohol on top of that, which he's been in and out, but he never admitted to actually being an alcoholic. Now, she also talked about him using cocaine, which he didn't deny using cocaine. But the times that she was saying he was doing all this stuff and all the pictures that he showed, he was in that nod. And it's very difficult. Like she could literally beat him down with him being in that nod. Like he could try to come and swing at her, and it might take him 5 minutes to even get that fist to reach her. Like, because it's slow motion, it's slow rolling with everything. So that's why to me some of the stuff didn't fit, because when she would describe his behavior or talk about his behavior, and even in their arguments, listening to him talking, how slow he was talking, how slurred his speech was, he was still making sense, but just how he was saying stuff, he was not coming at her like, I'm gonna, like, that just was not happening. Now, if she was speaking on something where he was tooted up on the cocaine and was coming to her a certain type of way, then maybe that would kind of fit her narrative a little bit more. But the incidents that she's putting out here, just like with these pictures with him being, and even she's saying the monster, this is the different monster. But this was the main thing that you said, that he was addicted to these opioids, and this is what he went to treatment for, the opioids. So it's not, he's an abuser, but she's an abuser as well. 1 second. And let me put this on pause, on mute, because y'all people be listening, child. Hold up. Sorry, y'all. Okay, I don't even know what I was saying. Just a different type of drugs and their reactions, how people actually act whenever they're under the influence of those drugs. It wasn't jiving what she was saying. So this is why they're getting on her with this particular part right here, and she's gonna catch what she's saying, and that's why the lady was like, "Oh, what about the monster?" And now she's saying it's a different monster. We weren't afraid of the opiate monster. But that was his main problem. That is his main problem. He said he hasn't been using. I think it's been a couple years, but that was his main problem. So let's get back into
Then
it.
would get upset that you sent this picture to your friend.
Well, he's all of those things. Of course he could get upset. Of course that's scary to me. Of course.
Did
But
it stop you from sending this picture to your friend, did it?
why would it?
Because you're worried about being abused.
Mr. Depp's right hand is in his pocket, right, Miss Heard? In this
Yes,
picture?
that's correct.
You also showed this jury pictures of cocaine. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please take a look at one of those. If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 167A, which is already in evidence. Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to a photograph. This is a photograph you took in March of 2013, right?
That is correct.
And this was taken at your apartment in Orange.
Yes.
And this is
Okay, for those of you, I gotta stop this. For those of you that don't recognize what's on this table right now, especially what this is a part of a feminine hygiene product. This is actually the casing for a tampon. So just looking at that, let's just see where this goes. Yeah.
is your breakfast table.
That is correct.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp left this breakfast table just the way you took it.
That is correct.
So this is what the table looked like after Mr. Depp had been doing cocaine.
Well, clearly he has yet to snort these lines.
There are 4 lines of cocaine on this table, right, Ms. Heard?
In this picture, I see 4 lines.
There isn't any cocaine residue around those lines, right?
Not that I can tell, no.
Doesn't really look like anyone's been doing cocaine off that table, does it?
With all due respect, I'm not sure you know how that works.
And you do?
If you do.
Hold on, y'all. I gotta take this back. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me just take this back just 1 second. Okay, so in the midst of her trying to come after him and hurt him, see, a lot of this, oh my goodness, she's coming at it like, I don't think you know how this works. She said to the jury, she said on the stand that she never used cocaine, where then she came back later and said something about using cocaine because Johnny's attorneys kind of put some stuff out there like, yeah, you did use cocaine. So then she had to go back and say, okay, I might have used some cocaine. She telling somebody else they don't know how it worked. They're trying to get her like, oh, so you telling me that these 4 lines were for him? Or was that for y'all? He doing all 4 of these lines by himself? And that little piece of tampon right there, you telling me that's his or that's yours? Like, which one of y'all were actually getting ready to do this thing? Now, did you set this up to show that he was doing it, or did you set it up to show that you were getting ready to do it? Like, what's really going on around here? Right, Lady Sunshine? She like that MDMA. Like, she like mushrooms. She was doing all kind of stuff. Like, that's what it bothered me that she was calling him a junkie, because by all intents and purposes, she would be labeled as a junkie as well if that's the word that we're going to use. Now, clinically, that is not the correct term. But she is definitely an abuser herself. She is an abuser of the substances. So by her trying to call him out, like, she's just completely overlooking. And that was one of the arguments that they had that was recorded. Like, you telling me to go and get help. Like, why aren't you going to get help? Are you telling me not to do this? Then why are you doing it in front of me? Like, is that really support? If you know what I'm saying? Like, But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back into it.
You took it.
That is correct.
So this is what the table looked like after Mr. Depp had been doing cocaine.
Well, clearly he has yet to snort these lines.
There are 4 lines of cocaine on this table, right, Ms. Hurd?
In this picture, I see 4 lines.
There isn't any cocaine residue around those lines, right?
Not that I can tell, no.
Doesn't really look like anyone's been doing cocaine off that table, does it?
With all due respect, I'm not sure you know how that works.
I'm asking if you do. You testified you've done cocaine.
I have.
Doesn't really look like Mr. Depp or anyone was doing cocaine off that table, does it?
I beg to differ with you on that. When you snort cocaine, typically it goes into your nose.
And
It
there's
doesn't stay on the
residue.
table.
There's residue from that cocaine when your lips and nose touch the table, right?
Well, the tampon applicator next to the driver's license that you see is a device that I believe my sister had taught him to use in order to
Her
put the
sister.
cocaine in your nose.
She taught you too.
Mr. Depp is a pretty heavy smoker, right?
He is.
And that's a cigarette in the ashtray in the back there, back right.
Yes, it looks like one of his hand rolls.
There's no other cigarettes in that ashtray, are there?
I see 1 cigarette.
The one that's not smoked.
That's correct.
There's no ash in that ashtray either, is there?
Not that I can tell in this picture.
It's pretty clean.
In this picture, it looks like it, yes.
It's a pretty neat table. Wouldn't you agree?
She trying to say she set it up.
Depends on what you would call neat, I suppose.
And you sent this picture to your friend, Rocky Pennington, as well, didn't you?
I sure did.
And when you sent it, you said, quote, "Look at my morning," or something like that. Is that right?
Yay for mornings.
So you have a habit of sending stage photographs to your friend Rocky, don't you?
I had a habit of communicating with my best friend about what was going on in my life.
You don't have any pictures of Mr. Depp actually consuming cocaine, do you?
I don't think I have a picture of him mid-snort. No.
You don't even have any pictures of Mr. Depp with cocaine.
What do you mean by that?
That's what she said.
Holding cocaine, standing next to cocaine, sitting next to cocaine.
I don't know.
Well, you haven't shown any of those pictures like that to the jury, have you?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
And you were never able to catch Mr. Depp with cocaine on film either, were you?
I never tried.
But you were able to catch him sleeping, right?
I have seen him pass out in all sorts of places, yes.
And you also captured a video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen that was played again for this jury today, beating up some cabinets. Do you recall that?
Sorry, say that again?
You recall capturing Mr. Depp in the kitchen of one of his homes, beating up some cabinets?
Yes. Slamming things around, yes.
So you took that video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen, right?
I did.
And you took it on one of your iPad devices?
I took it on my iPad.
You were deposed in August of 2016 in connection with your divorce proceedings from Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And you will recall that the video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen was released online the day before your deposition in August of 2016, don't you?
Houseway.
You're the one who released that video.
Incorrect.
Isn't that true?
Not directly.
Incorrect.
Not
I'm
directly.
flying from another place at the time. I remember learning about it when I landed.
How did they get
So
it?
it's just a coincidence that the video you took of Mr. Depp was released the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp.
I absolutely had nothing to do with that. I wouldn't even know how to do something like that.
You settled your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
That sounds right.
And in connection with that settlement, you received $7 million from Mr. Depp, true?
That's correct.
And then
6.8 exactly.
Your settlement amount was $7 million.
That's correct.
And then you released a statement in which you claimed you would be donating the entire $7 million to charity, right?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm going to pause this right here because this is going to really show the lying, the manipulating, the gaslighting just off this one particular instance right here. This $7 million that she claimed that she donated, pledged, whatever to a charity. Like this is the part that really had me like, what? You guys tell me what you think about this. I'm going to just let this one play out as much as I can without trying to interrupt it because it was just a bunch of boufale to me. But yeah, this is where it gets real and you really get to see the seriousness of what's going on in her head. Like, let me just play this.
You stated you would be donating half of the $7 million to the ACLU.
That's correct.
And you would be donating the other half to Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
That is correct.
And you also stated, with respect to the $7 million divorce settlement, that money played no role except for the extent that you could donate the money to charity.
Yes, that's correct.
Would you please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1259? This is an article entitled Amber Heard Donates Johnny Depp Divorce Settlement to Charity. Read her statement in full. Is that correct?
That's what the title says, yes.
Directing your attention to the portion on the second page where it says, quote, read the statement below. Is that the statement you released, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit the statement and the article as redacted.
Objection, hearsay.
It's her statement.
This is not her statement. This is some.
She just testified.
She just said it was her statement.
May I see the full?
Everything else is redacted.
Okay, then I have no objection.
All right, 1259 in evidence as redacted.
The statement reads, as described in the restraining order and divorce settlement, money played no role for me personally and never has, except to the extent that I could donate it to charity, and in doing so, hopefully help those less able to defend themselves. As reported in the media, the amount received in the divorce was $7 million, and $7 million is being donated. This is over and above any funds that I have given away in the past and will continue to give away in the future. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct. I don't remember that last line, but I have no. It doesn't stand out to me as wrong.
There's nothing inaccurate in the statement.
Not that I recognize now.
Mr. Depp donated $100,000 of the divorce settlement directly to the ACLU. Is that right?
Right at the beginning of the divorce settlement, he donated $100,000 to each charity on my behalf or towards my contribution.
So $100,000
To each.
to the ACLU.
And to the Children's Hospital.
And in response, you publicly demanded that Mr. Depp pay the divorce settlement directly to you instead of the charities, right?
That was always the agreement, actually, is for him to pay me directly. It was not his money as per the settlement agreement to give away and reap a tax benefit from. I said if he wants to do it and give to charity all of a sudden, then he should pay the correct amount and not try to get a big tax break for it. So effectively for his tax bracket, he should be paying double that amount to the charity directly.
Who are you to make
charity directly? He could. He could do that. Was fine with me, but he would need to pay the adjusted amount.
Ultimately, the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement was paid directly to you, right?
Over time, yes.
Mr. Depp didn't end up paying the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement directly to the charities you identified.
That is correct. He paid the installments to me.
You stopped that from happening, didn't you?
I don't understand what your question is. I'm sorry.
You stopped Mr. Depp from paying the charities that you had named directly.
That is incorrect. I said if you want to pay the charities directly, pay the adjusted amount, or pay as per our agreement in the settlement or in the divorce. as per our agreement.
You also
And he
publicly
chose to do the former, not the latter. I mean, the other way around.
You also publicly stated that the $7 million divorce settlement should be paid to the charities immediately in full, right?
If he wanted to pay it in the way that he was suggesting, yes.
And you said publicly that the payments to the charities should not be drawn out over many years, right?
I said that I don't recall the exact words that I used, but basically that he shouldn't use this as a novel interest in getting a tax break. That if he wanted to do that and not pay me the settlement, that was fine. But he would have to pay the adjusted amount and not make it, a commitment he would not fulfill or try to avoid some other way.
And that's because you wanted the entire world to think that you were donating every penny of the $7 million divorce settlement as soon as you received it from Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
No, I was going to be receiving it in installments, and I would be paying in installments the donations.
And in fact, you released a statement in response to Mr. Depp's $100,000 donations to the ACLU and CHLA, didn't you?
I don't recall.
Let's see if we can refresh our recollection. If we can please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1260. This is an article entitled Amber Heard and Johnny Depp Row Over Divorce Donations. And if I could direct your attention to where it says, I believe it's on the second page. Her spokeswoman responded in a statement. The language that follows the statement you released.
Hearsay, spokeswoman, it's not her.
A spokesperson is an exception, Your Honor.
Right. For her to be determining what he should get a tax break for and why should you get a tax break? He literally gave her what she wanted to try to keep the peace. I don't know why she felt the need to go any further with what she was doing other than, her really wanting to promote the her role in the movie that she was in.
You released a statement
May
through.
we approach again?
Okay.
Yeah, other than her wanting to, she had that op-ed that was released right around the time that the movie was coming out that she was in Aquaman. So it played two parts. Number one, to help promote the movie, her part in the movie. And it helped her look good so that people would support her. So, I mean, either way, she was benefiting from it, but she lied. She lied about a lot of stuff, but she was still able to benefit from it.
Before we ask the next question, I'll just hand you a copy of this one. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's exactly what I said.
Y'all see those rings? Those rings will hurt somebody. Especially the little skull rings.
Your Honor, would you like to see one as well?
No, that's all right. That's fine. Thank you. Could you please turn your microphone on? I'm sorry.
Your Honor, they gave me a redacted, but I don't have the unredacted to be able to see the full
I
document.
plan to admit it or ask that it be admitted in redacted form. I'm taking away any hearsay, and I'm just trying to lay the foundation that this is a statement she released through a spokesperson.
How would I know whether there's more to it that shouldn't be redacted, Your Honor, if I don't see the full document?
Your Honor, the witness can testify as to whether this is a full statement or not.
The witness can't do, we have the right to be able to see the document.
All right, you have the document that's not redacted?
We can pull it up on our computers.
Okay,
Just give us a moment, Your
all
Honor.
right.
I can represent this is the full statement that was recorded.
Give her an opportunity to look at the unredacted one.
Thank you.
Now, mind you, if you have been watching this trial, what her attorney is asking for, they did not give the people that they were cross-examining, they didn't afford them these opportunities to go and have all this stuff redacted or let them see copies of certain things. And like they were being straight buttholes when it came to the information that they had and how they presented themselves and even how they were treating the witnesses that were on the stand. But she listen, and this is their job. So this is definitely their job. This is what they're supposed to do. But I'm like, you know what? I would have to give her the same luxuries that, you know, she gave me whenever, you know, she had, yeah, she would get that same energy.
Sorry, Ms. Brennan. May I approach?
Yes.
Now, mind you, all this that they're doing right now is basically setting her up for the lie.
Your Honor, can we have a copy of this?
You can get a copy of that later
Yes.
today, okay?
Right,
All right.
I mean, I think she should be giving us copies of this.
Sit down
We'll
somewhere.
take care of that, but
Okay.
as of right now, can we continue?
We can, Your Honor, but I have an objection because of, there's some quotation marks missing.
Okay, come forward.
Sat down somewhere. Okay, so they're setting her up for the lie to show the jury that even with something that small, something that she did not have to lie about, she lied. Like she just lied for no reason. And even after she received the money, she actually received all of the money that she was supposed to get in their divorce settlement. She went and did interviews implying that he hadn't given her the money, that she still did not have the money. Anything she could do to try to make him look bad. So this is what they're setting her up for right now, and she's gonna fall right into it. She's definitely gonna fall right into it. And she's gonna proceed with the gaslighting. And her wordplay in this is ridiculous, y'all. I'm almost tempted to fast forward the thing so y'all can see it, but just seeing the back and forth, just watch her wordplay with this. It's
All right. So directing your attention, Ms. Heard, where it says her spokeswoman responded in a statement.
Your
The
Honor,
language that follows.
Your Honor, again, she can't read it. She has to show
The
it.
language that follows.
If you want to lay a
Is this-
foundation to that, go ahead.
You released a statement after Mr. Depp donated $100,000 to the ACLU and $100,000 to CHLA. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I think so, yes.
And the language that follows is the statement you released in response to Mr. Depp's donations, right?
I don't know if this is the official statement. I have no idea.
The statement that starts at
Objection, Your Honor.
Amber Heard. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Would you please read that to yourself, Ms. Heard?
You know you made a statement, girl. Stop. Jeez.
Yes.
Did you read all the way to the very bottom where the last word is supported?
Yes.
That's a statement you released through your spokeswoman after Mr. Depp made the donations to the CHLA and the ACLU. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I do not recall exactly what my statement was. I don't disagree with anything in the statement, but I just simply don't recall what the statement was we released.
Is there anything inaccurate in that statement, Ms. Heard?
No.
I'm going to move to admit.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
I'll overrule the objection. 1260 in evidence over objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. The statement reads, Amber Heard appreciates Johnny Depp's novel interest in supporting two of her favorite charities, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union for Domestic Violence, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. This is great and unexpected news. And it continues. However, if Johnny wishes to change the settlement agreement, we must insist that he honor the full amount by donating $14 million to charity, which, after accounting for his tax deduction, is equal to his $7 million payment obligation to Amber. And it continues. We would also insist that the full amount be paid immediately and not drawn out over many years. Anything less would be a transparent attempt by Johnny's counsel, Laura Wasser and Patty Glazer, to reduce their client's true payment by half under the guise of newfound concern for charities that he has never previously supported. End quote.
Let me pause that. Isn't this what she just said on the stand? That these were the stipulations that she put in place? If he was going to give money to a charity directly, that this is what she was demanding? So are we going to go back and say that these people just knew what she was thinking? This is exactly what she just told the jury, the conversation that she had with him, that if he was going to do this, that he had to do it this way, based on what she thought. He was going to have to pay double. She wasn't looking at, you know, what he was bringing home. Like she wanted the before tax payments to be made. Like, this is the same thing she said when that she just said it. So to sit up here and act like this wasn't a statement from her, this is why her attorney is trying to like block all this. But she just said it on the stand. Again, you got to stop trying to handle the jury like they are slow and stop lying. Just stop lying. It's not healthy.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Thank you. After this, you kept commenting about the donation of your divorce settlement, right?
Here she goes.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay. You spoke about donating your divorce settlement on a Danish TV show, correct?
I believe I said I had. I believe I said I donated it to charity, but it was already printed or already commented on and stated in the press. I had already released that information in the press. I think I just confirmed it on that show.
You appeared on a show called RTL Late Night, right?
I don't recall what show it was.
If we could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 346, which is a portion of your appearance on this program. And we would ask that it be moved into evidence and ask for permission to publish it.
Hold on, y'all.
Because hearsay it contains other.
Hey, heal the land. Okay. This is like one of those situations where you're looking at a man and a female in a relationship. Or a mama with their child. I'm going to say mamas because it's more so with mamas. Where like you're getting asked a question, and the manner that we ask the question, you know we already know the answer to the question. So that means we're just trying to see if you're going to lie about it. You can tell by the way the question is asked that we already know the answer. So when this attorney asks you, did you do an interview with Turkish TV or whoever? Did you go and do an interview with these people? And you're saying, oh, I don't know. I can't remember the name. I don't know. You know they already have the answer. Just like when the lady said something before, the attorney said something to her before about the picture, and she was like, no, but I know you have it. Like, okay, so you already know that. So why proceed with the lie? Why go into the denial of it all? A lie by omission is still a lie. It's still a lie. And let me just go on back. Yeah.
For communications with other individuals.
Your Honor, if we may approach very briefly.
bless her heart. Like, she has lied so much. Yeah, I don't know if she can stop. I don't even. It goes along with, even though her attorney, the attorney for Amber, tried to go completely against what Johnny Depp's attorney said with her diagnosis, it would actually like work in her favor for them to go along with the diagnosis, because she actually meets the criteria of the diagnosis. She is definitely, she has a personality disorder. She absolutely does. And it is so apparent while she's up here on this stand. It's so apparent, like, now that she is feels like she is back into a corner, like her truth is coming out, and she can't put on the show that she was putting on before, because now she not only has to think about, you know, what she said before, now she got to think about, you know, how they're phrasing the questions to her. They trying to get over on her, so she didn't have to worry about that when she was being questioned by her own people. Now she's having to think like in different ways. There's different dimensions to this thing, so now it's different. So she has to try to keep up with everything that she's saying. And that's why when the lady's asking her simple questions, excuse me, what did you say? I didn't understand what she said, because she's trying to process all this stuff in her head right now, because she said so much stuff. And when you are a habitual liar, it's hard for you to keep up with all the lies that you have told. Now, she could easily go back, and I know, even though she wasn't supposed to, she was watching these videos of the trial and taking notes, and because her whole demeanor changed. People were talking about her doing all this fake crying, no tears, and just being just melodramatic. And she hasn't been doing all of that, at least in this particular instance. So that's one of the things that I would want people to take notes of whenever she was talking with her attorney and she was recalling all of these events. Everything was melodramatic, and everything had, I won't say tears, but she was trying to produce some tears. When she's giving this testimony, these same things, these same events that she's speaking on, they're not provoking any type of tears. They're not provoking that same emotion that it was evoking whenever she was talking to the attorneys for her side. That makes a difference.
So if we could please play and publish to the jury Plaintiff's Exhibit 346.
346 in evidence.
There allegedly were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this, and then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money, but then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
ACLU is a human rights.
I'm going to press pause because I need y'all to get this. She said $7 million, that she donated $7 million. She split it between the two. I'm going to take that back because I just want y'all to get just that teeny part. I want to make sure y'all heard what she said. So let me just take it back.
Please play and publish to the jury Plaintiff's Exhibit
$7 million was donated. She donated it.
There allegedly were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this, and then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money, but then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
ACLU is a human rights organization.
Sorry, ACLU is a prominent organization, nonprofit organization in the United States. Yeah. It's called the American Civil Liberties Union, and they work on behalf of marginalized communities on the ground and in legislative reform.
Right.
And
well, more power to you, because that's something that I've never heard of.
I wanted nothing.
She want to laugh. Look at her. She want to laugh.
It was in October of 2018, right, Ms. Hurd?
I don't recall when it was.
It was in 2018, right, Ms. Hurd?
I don't remember when this was done.
This was after you had received the full $7 million of your divorce settlement from Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
Again, without knowing when it was recorded, I have no idea.
The $7 million divorce settlement was paid to you in full by February of 2018, right?
That's correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1458, which is already in evidence.
She is cursing that girl out in her head.
This is the deal point memorandum from your divorce settlement, right, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, that's what it looks like.
If we go down to the bottom of page 4, there's a heading labeled equalization payment. Do you see that?
Yes.
And underneath that, it outlines the payment schedule for the divorce payments, correct?
Yes.
Well, it begins to, and if we go on page 5. So the first payment is scheduled for August 31st, 2016, and that's $200,000, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Mr. Depp's accountant, Edward White, testified that he made that payment directly.
You gotta turn your microphone sort off. I'm not gonna hear you.
Objection to her testifying to what Mr. White testified to.
Okay.
It said, actually, he literally testified to it in court.
All overruled objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Depp's accountant, Edward White, testified that he made the payment directly to the ACLU and CHLA, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And then the rest of the payments were all made to you, weren't they?
That is correct.
And the final payment of $2.3 million is on February 1st, 2018, right?
The final payment, yes.
And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule.
I'm going to object to her testifying to what Mr. White testified
All
to.
overruled objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule, right?
Here we go.
I don't believe they were. He might have
That's not my
testified.
question, Mr. The question
Gaslighting.
was, you were
Listen.
here in court when Mr. White testified under oath that all the payments were made on schedule.
I was here every day in court. I heard his testimony, yes.
So back to October 2018, this was before Mr. Depp sued you for defamation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He didn't sue you until after the op-ed came out in December of 2018, right?
He sued me in 2019.
And the op-ed came out in December of 2018.
That is correct.
So in October of 2018, you had received your entire $7 million divorce settlement. You
That-
agree with me?
That is correct.
And you hadn't yet been sued by Mr. Depp.
This is
Yes or no?
Correct.
Okay.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote. Right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you
Pledge.
say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Gaslight.
Sitting here today, Ms. Hurd, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the
Ms. Hurd,
settlement,
that's
$7
not
million
my
to charity,
question.
and I
Ms. Hurd,
intend to
Ms.
fulfill
Hurd,
those
Ms.
obligations.
Hurd,
Gaslight.
that's not my question. Please,
What was
try
the
to answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated
Look at how they're leaning
$7
in.
million donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I used pledge and donation synonymous.
No, ma'am. I had to pause it right there. No, ma'am. Absolutely, positively, no, 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 ma'am. No, 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 no. This is why I had to stop it right here. You will not come up here and say that you use donating and pledging synonymously. They do not mean the same thing. You're pledging, you're saying, I'm going to pay this money. I'm going to give you this money. It's supposed to be a promise, but nobody can hold you to it really unless there's some paperwork involved. If you donated, you have made a concerted effort. You went in your pockets, your bank account, and you gave these people this money. You told these people that you donated, not pledged. You said that you donated $7 million between the two charities. And now you're on this stand, and this lady is sitting here you don't even see that you are making a spectacle of yourself at this particular time, trying to manipulate a situation. This is the word play that I was telling you guys about. You cannot spin this and try to act like you're saying this. This is a lie. You in a lie. And they slowly guided her right into that lie, and she didn't even see it coming. They slowly drilled that thing right on in, and she did not see it coming because she felt like she was smarter than everyone else. So she did not. Look at her face on this freeze frame. Look at her face. I didn't even notice that. Look at her face. She like, dang. It is not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Stop. How you gaslighting the darn attorneys? Like, how does that work? They sitting up there, and it was so funny to me how the audience was like, oh, she just gonna say, oh, we gotta hear what she got to say about this. And you saw them all leaning in. I can't give this to you as a clinician today. I have to give this to you just like raw, because I'm like, no. This is a true depiction of what this manipulation and gaslighting looks like, y'all. Like, at some point, you got to say, okay, you got me. You know what I'm saying? You wave the white flag. You got me. Dang, you got me. You know, cause psych. You get psych a booty. Like, say something to okay, you got me. Do something. You gotta do something to like kind of like back out of that. The back away from that lie. You keep feeding into it, but she ain't finished yet. But they're gonna end this whole thing on this. I mean, when I tell you that they were solid in their delivery, even though they didn't have as much time today, but you see how they ended it, lets you know how they're gonna pick it back up tomorrow. But all they had to do, what they were trying to do, their goal in this particular situation was to show the jury how much of a compulsive liar she was about something this small. They already put little bits and pieces up there, but now they're gonna take it home with this one. This is the home run right here. So let's go ahead and finish this one out, Lord. I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. They're not the same thing. You know what I mean? If I'm in church, I can put whatever amount of money on my envelope that I'm gonna put in the church and send that up. But if my money ain't in it, when I get it, I'm gonna give y'all $50 for my tithes and offering. Well, they ain't get it. They got the envelope. They ain't got no money. So guess what? My name ain't going down on that little tab that they got right. They saying Rogers paid $50 on the third Sunday in January. No, it ain't gonna say that. It ain't gonna say a darn thing. It ain't gonna say she pledged $50. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. It's not even with charities, charitable donations. You can pledge whatever you want to pledge. But when tax time comes, if they ain't get that money, you ain't give them nothing. They don't care about no pledges. They don't care about nothing that you pledged. They care about the money that you actually gave. And then on the charity side, so you trying to get them in the mess because they count for that $7 million or that 3.5 and 3.5 that you supposedly gave them. So they got to account for that, saying that they received it. So you sitting up there trying to get somebody else hemmed up in some mess too, because that type of charitable donation has to be, it got to be included. They got to write it up. The same way that you can get credit for it, they have to go and let the people that they received the money, they got some credit for it. It worked both ways. Both of y'all got to file that thing. And for sure, they ain't going to sit there and say you gave them that money if they don't have it. And they're going to be responsible for it. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. That is not how this works. I'm like, where we do that at? But yeah, it's that face. It's that face. Like these mother suckers. It's that face. Yeah. It's been a lot of stuff for me tonight, but in this moment, it's the face for me. It's been the gaslighting for me, and now it's the face. It's the face for me. She just got so much going on in that little head of hers. Hey, Parnell, she got so much going on. Hey, Teresa, so much. Hey, Lisa, you got so much going on in that head of hers. I'm like, Just give up. Tap out. Tap out. Tap out. Say, take me out. Just tap out. But she gonna fight this one to the end. She gonna fight this to the end. And right here, she threw her attorneys under the bus a couple times. They ain't put it in there. I gave it to them. They ain't put it. Well, why wouldn't they put it in there if it was gonna make you look good? Because they sure been trying to fight for you for everything else. Why you just gonna throw them under the bus like that? And the attorney's still fighting for it. Objection. Objection, 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 overrule, objection, overrule, objection, overrule. Like, y'all, let's get back into this thing because she about to wrap this up. But look, just that face, child. Look at that. Look at that. Now she turned toward the jury, but see, that's where that cognitive dissonance kick in at, right? See, her mind and body her mind is going in two different directions. So she know that the role that she's been playing, she's been facing the jury when she's telling them something, but her eyes not looking at the jury at this point because she knows she's lying. So that's why her head is there, but her eyes over here because she knows she's lying. That's where that cognitive dissonance start kicking in because you got two different beliefs, two different things going on in your head. You got that truth and you got that lie, but you still trying to remember that you got to look at the jury too because you're trying to be convincing to them. Like you got too much. You got too much going on, sister. But we're going to let this play. We're going to let it play.
Ms. Heard.
Let's go.
Use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully,
Respectfully.
that's not my question.
Mm.
As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
Yes.
As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
So as of today,
Press
you
pause.
have not donated,
Press pause.
paid.
Press pause. She had to concede with that one. She had to concede. I have not yet. But then she had to end it with Johnny sued me. Okay. Now you see they already established a foundation with this thing of when she actually received the money versus when he actually sued her. Well, put the paperwork in to sue her. So you had this money back in October of 2018. Actually, she had that money for a little minute. Now he came and sued you later. And now you come and saying that you didn't pay it because Johnny sued you. But I need y'all to check this out. Once again, see how they backed her in the corner and got her in this lie. They established the foundation to show, okay, you got this money at this point. Okay, he didn't file to this point. So you're going to sit up here and tell these jurors that you ain't paid this money because your ex-husband sued you. Okay, but watch how this play out. Watch how this play out. And look, y'all, look at this lady face right here. I am too tickled. Look at her face. Hold up. Look at her face right here. This is the stuff I live for when I go to court. I like watching people's faces. She got a little snicker on her face right here. Like, what is this girl talking about? Her right here talking about her look is, you done effed up, right? Lord forgive me. These are the thoughts that run through my head sometimes when I'm in court. I'm sorry. Like, that lady, she leaning all the way in, y'all. Look at her. Look. That lady saying, get the F out of here. I know this happening. She got a hard lean with the lips tooted. I know she didn't. Right, she like, say what? That ain't even a what here. That what? That's what she got. What? Like, girl, you must think I'm on dope or down food with all this mess that you putting out here. That lean got me. I completely missed that lean right there today. See what happens when you put stuff on pause? That lady, her face and everything, she's like, this woman. And look at the words that stopped on the screen, y'all. Not donated. I promise I ain't do that on purpose. That's a Freudian slip right there. See there, I ain't do that on purpose. it's all coming together. You see how the heavens and everything is all coming together. Everything coming full circle. It says not donated. Period. My goodness. Okay, let's get back into this thing. That lady said, really?
$7 million of your divorce settlement to charity.
Hold on, let me take it back just a little bit.
Her testifying to what Mr. White testified to. That's okay.
It said, actually, he literally.
Let me be
testified
serious
to it
on
in
this.
court.
I'll overrule objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Depp's accountant, Edward White, testified that he made the payment directly to the ACLU and CHLA, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And then the rest of the payments were all made to you, weren't they?
That is correct.
And the final payment of $2.3 million is on February 1st, 2018, right?
The final payment, yes.
And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule.
I'm going to object to her testifying to what Mr. White testified to.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hush.
And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule, right?
I don't believe they were. He might have
That's
testified
not my
to
question, Ms. Heard. My question was, you were here in court when Mr. White testified under oath that all the payments
that
were
little
made
face.
on schedule.
I was here every day in court. I heard his testimony, yes.
Oh my! I gotta stop this for a second because I'm so caught up in what I'm just missing some of the eye blinks. That's a dead giveaway. Like she cannot stop blinking her eyes while she's telling these lies right here. And you see her, she's looking up and she's trying to process this stuff and trying to get those lies out quick. She's trying to figure out what she's gonna say because she has been put on the spot. Now that I point this out, I want y'all to pay attention to this. She is very uncomfortable right now. This is called back against the wall.
Back to October of 2018, this was before Mr. Depp sued you for defamation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He didn't sue you until after the op-ed came out in December of 2018, right?
He sued me in 2019.
And the op-ed came out in December of 2018.
That is correct.
So in October of 2018, you had received your entire $7 million divorce settlement. You agree with me?
That is correct.
Set
You
up.
hadn't yet been sued by Mr. Depp.
This is October, correct.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote, right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement.
Look
to
at that
charity.
body language.
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I
Look at that lady face, Sean.
of the
Ms. Heard,
settlement,
that's
$7
not
million
my
to charity,
question.
and I
Ms. Heard,
intend to
Ms.
fulfill
Heard,
those
Ms.
obligations.
Heard, that's not my question. Please
What was
try
your
to answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today,
Hmm.
you have not donated the $7 million, donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another. They're
But I
the same
don't.
thing.
Ms. Heard, I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully, that's not my question.
Mm.
As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the
I'm sorry, y'all. This lady face, her facial expressions are killing me right here. All right, her facial expressions are priceless. Oh my goodness. Let me
ACLU. Yes or no?
look at her.
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
So as of today, you have not donated paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
And that's because you did want something, didn't you?
I didn't want anything, and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Didn't get it. Wasn't interested in it. I loved Johnny. That's why I was with him.
You wanted praise for donating the money, right?
That's incorrect.
You wanted good press.
In general, one does want good press, yes.
You wanted to seem altruistic publicly.
Wasn't my interest. My interest is in my name and clearing my name. And at the time, I was being called a liar and my motives were being questioned. I did see it as important to clear that up. I wanted to make a statement to make sure that there was not any doubt that I couldn't be labeled these things just because Johnny was a bigger star and had more publicity reach.
You wanted to remind everyone of your claims of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
No, I wanted to move on with my life.
You wanted to make those claims seem believable.
They are believable.
You wanted them to be seen. You wanted to be seen, as a noble victim of domestic violence.
I have never wanted to be seen as a victim.
Oh, we saw a little anger. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hold that thought right there. She hit a nerve right there. She hit a nerve. Now, I told you guys, as someone that has been through something, not domestic violence, let me make sure that's clear, but someone who has been through some situations as a younger person, that I would never let anybody classify me as a victim. I did not see myself as a victim. And this particular situation right here, she was standing up for victims of domestic violence. So I'm trying to see why this offended her. Because she's basically said before that she was one of them. But this right here, it looked like the devil done reached in this child right here at this particular moment. This magic moment. I don't know. And it may be that she can see herself as a victim, but she doesn't want anybody else to see her or to call her a victim. It may just depend on what the situation is. If it fits her narrative at the time to be called a victim, then maybe it's okay. But that face right there, my. I'm sorry. She is in straight hand that rocks the cradle mode. That's who she reminds me of right here. Hand that rocks the cradle. like she ready to take anybody out that call her. Child, let me move on. Hopefully she don't see this video.
Nor have I ever called myself one.
You testified under oath that, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote, didn't you?
That's correct. I pledged the entirety.
No. Ms. Heard, my questions. Your counsel will have time to redirect you after. You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct. I pledged the entirety.
You didn't, girl.
Strike everything after yes.
All right.
No. Ms. Hurt,
I
this is
said-
really inappropriate.
I'll sustain the objection and let's move forward.
Thank you.
Let's move forward. Next question.
Under oath, that statement wasn't true, was it, Ms. Hurd?
I'm sorry, I don't follow your question. Sorry.
You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote. That statement wasn't true.
It is true. I pledged the entirety to charity.
The statement...
When you say you buy a house, you don't pay for
Ms.
the
Hurd,
entire house
Ms. Hurd,
at one
respectfully,
time.
Girl, you don't
Yeah.
pledge either.
Ms. Hurd,
You
Next
just
question, please.
thank you.
Press pause, y'all. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's talk about this. The example that she chose to give in this situation is when you purchase a house. She said you don't give them the entire amount of the house. Let's not use that example because a check has been cut Like there is a check that has been cut to the builder. So they got their money up front. They got their money. Now you got to go back and you got to make payments to the bank. But you not pledging like they going to get that money. You know what I'm saying? They going to get that money. They going to take back what's theirs. And the charity, if you decide that you don't want to pledge the amount, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? If you decide that you don't want to donate the amount that you pledge, oh, I changed my mind. I ain't got the money for that, did you? Like, what are they going to do? You cannot use that as an example. You cannot. I'm like, where is this line of thinking coming from? And stand up, be counted. The reason why she is purging herself up here, but the reason why she's doing it is because, you know, we talk about perjury and all this stuff, but in civil cases, rarely does the judge come after anybody for perjury. That's why people get up there and lie during these civil cases. And a lot of times, even in criminal cases, like the judge and like people really got to be feeling some type of way to come at you for perjury. Like that's just being real. In these civil cases, like hardly ever do they come after these people for perjuring themselves on the stand. They just let them get up there and lie. And they might call them out like Amber. But you're not going to do anything about it. And her attorney's already told her that. They ain't going to do nothing to you. They ain't going to do nothing to you. So they let them get up there and just lie. They just lie for no reason. Just lie. Now, y'all know this judge know this child is lying. That judge know that. And that's why she's sitting up there letting all this stuff be admitted. Because she know this girl lied. Not only is she lying to him, she lied to the previous court. In the previous court before that, she just been lying up something. Just lying for no reason at all. Like, there's no benefit at this point. You just lying. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. She could have just, you know what? Let's just go on back into this. Let her finish. She's a beautiful young lady. Like, she is very pretty. But her attitude and just her overall, just, ugh, you know, just, ugh.
That statement isn't true today, as you sit here today, is it?
It is true. I
No, it's
pledged
not.
the entirety.
But you
to
didn't
charity.
donate it.
Unfortunately,
You didn't donate it. It's a yes or no.
I haven't been able to to fulfill those.
So that's a no, right,
obligations.
Ms. Heard?
I made the pledge. I want to be very clear. I pledged the entirety. I haven't been able to fulfill those pledges because I've been sued.
You had all of the $7 million
Here you go.
for 13 months.
13
before
months.
Mr. Depp sued you, and you chose not to pay it to the charities you pledged it to.
Bam! Let me pause it right there. Did y'all catch that? See, they set the stage for that. You had that money for 13 months. You had the whole $7 million in its entirety for 13 months, and you still didn't donate a dime. You let your boyfriend donate some money, but you didn't donate a dime. And you're saying now that you didn't donate because he sued you, but he sued you 13 months after you had that money. So why didn't you donate? Why didn't you donate what you pledged, Amber? Stop trying to gaslight for real. I want to make it clear. I pledged everything. We pledge allegiance. I mean, like, it's too much. It's too much. Yes, they are coming after her about the situation with the dogs. And even with that, another situation where she lied in court. She went and tried to get the assistant that cannot stand her. She was hilarious on the stand. She tried to get the assistant to say that it was her fault. That assistant was like, no, I'm not doing that. So she went and got one of the black guys to write a statement saying that the assistant did whatever. And that's what got her off of the situation. But now that assistant found out, one of her family members let her know, and she was like, She went back to the court. She was like, nah, that she lied on me. That was all her. That was all her. She lied to the court. So now they're coming back after her. They are coming back after her. So child, let us proceed. Let us proceed.
Correct.
I
Ms. Heard.
disagree with your characterization of that.
Nobody asked you that though. Look at his face.
Sworn testimony from the UK.
These people are so uncomfortable listening to this. I'm just looking at everybody's face. I'm looking at her face.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
These people are like,
Thank you.
That lady just said perjure. She just mouthed perjure to the other lady.
Miss Vasquez, do you want me to close the shades? Okay. There's this light coming across.
I appreciate that.
That's that guiding light. That's that truth light that was coming in there. Because my goodness. Whew.
This is your third witness statement that you submitted in the UK action, right, Ms. Heard?
Correct.
And this statement was made under oath, true?
That is true.
I'm directing your attention to the last page of that statement. That's your signature, right?
Yes, it is.
So you made this sworn statement on February 26, 2020.
2020.
That's correct.
And directing your attention to paragraph 4. It says, quote, I remained financially independent from him the whole time we were together, and the entire amount of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct.
Did I read that correctly?
You
Yes,
lied. It's a
The
lie.
him you were referring to is Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
With the straight face.
Most of the money that was donated to the
Here it is.
ACLU and CHLA in your name came from someone else. Isn't that right?
I don't know what you mean by most of.
Well, at least $500,000 that was donated to the ACLU in your name wasn't paid by you, right?
I believe Elon made a donation in my honor on one of the years.
Yeah, and it didn't come out of your $7 million divorce settlement, right?
No, nor did it count towards my pledge.
And at least $500,000 that was donated to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles in your name wasn't paid by you either.
Right, those were made at the same time.
And it didn't come out of your $7 million divorce settlement.
Nor did it count to my 3.5 obligation.
Those $500,000 payments came from your new boyfriend, Elon Musk, right?
I don't know if he was a new boyfriend at the time.
You got him to pay part of what you promised to these two charities, didn't you?
Incorrect.
Because you wanted to keep at least some of the $7 million divorce settlement for yourself, right?
You're very wrong about that.
I think this, if Your Honor's
Okay,
fine, this is a good
that's
stop.
great point. Okay, that's
Now
fine.
watch how fast she
Ladies,
cleared
we'll
this
stop here
courtroom.
for the evening. Remember tonight, do not do any outside research and not discuss the case with anybody. I know these days are a little longer, and I appreciate your patience and your taking care of everything here. Please take care of yourself tonight, okay? And we'll see you in the morning at 9 a.m.
She's not looking at Johnny now. She's trying to get out that courtroom.
And again, Mr. Since you're still on the witness stand, please do not discuss your testimony with anybody to include your attorneys, okay? All right, 9 o'clock tomorrow then? All right, we'll see you at 9 o'clock.
Here we go. Pew. Now they up there like, look at everybody waving at Johnny. Look at there. Lord have mercy. Okay, what do you guys think? What do y'all think? I'm just, oh my goodness. And but look, at this point, I'm up here glowing, child. I'm just it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's definitely a lot to take in. But I'm sitting up here and I'm like, at some point, like she did concede to a certain extent, but then she had to come back and follow up the lie. Like it was like, no, you can't concede. You gotta see it through. You gotta see it through, my boy. Like you can't concede. Like one part of her mind is telling her, okay, go ahead and concede and say you didn't give the money. And the other part is saying, no, don't concede. You gotta stick with the lie. Don't change the lie. Don't change the script. Do, what I told you to do. And she's sitting up there with all these conflicting thoughts and conflicting words, like everything there's no coming back from that. So for her first day of cross-examination, she did not look good in front of that jury. Now, when they come back and they do this thing with the makeup and her saying that she's been wearing, what is it, Milani or whatever to cover up whatever she had going on, like she has dug a hole for herself that she is not going to be able to get out of. She would not let that pledge and donations go. No, I pledged it. I didn't. It doesn't matter. If they don't have it, you've told these people that you donated. That's what you said in your statements. You said you donated. You did not use the word pledge. You get in front of these jurors, now you're talking about pledging. What you did? You pledge with me? Like, what you pledge? What? You said that you donated like every piece of money that you got from your divorce settlement. She said that she donated that money. That is a lie. There is no way around that. Yes, Hill, I had spoke about that bruise kit that she has. Like, stop it. Now, don't get me wrong. For the black folks on here, females, yes, we got some banging makeup. Don't get it twisted. But we ain't got no makeup that's gonna sit up there and cover up bruises, broken noses, swelling. Like you might be able to dot or bruise a little bit and tone it down. But unless you get some of that theater makeup, y'all know that thick cake dome theater makeup, and it take a lot of that because you got to keep piling. Like you're not hiding that stuff. And all the pictures that young lady took, all the close-up, all the selfies that she did, no. Even the picture of her back with the dress, and she claimed she had this big bruise, or you had your whole back out. Like, you didn't think your story all the way through. You didn't think it, like, you thought about it after the fact. You didn't think it all the way through. You didn't, okay, you said he did this, which was fine, but you forgot that you wanted to wear that dress. You forgot that you had a dress that had the back all the way out. You ain't think that all the way through. You should have put the other dress on. You should have put the other one on that didn't show the back. You know, the one that just showed a little bit of your little back right here at the top. Like, you ain't need the one that showed the whole thing, your whole back tattoo, because that was a little too revealing for what you were trying to go for, because we saw your whole back. I mean, we could read the verse that you had on your tattoo on the back, and the bruise was that you literally, she just had a strip. It was just a little strip. I don't know if the strip was this wide. Hold on. It was just a little strip. That's it. It was about that long and it was going across the back. It was just a little strip. That was it. So I don't know. Yeah, she had to put makeup on her back, child. And you know, you might be able to get it right here. You know. I don't know. Unless he put it on for her. I don't know. She didn't say that. She might come back and say it later that he put the makeup on for her. I don't know. But I'm like, she did not think that stuff all the way through. And that's when you know you are dealing with a person that is a compulsive liar, because they just throw the lies out there. They don't think about the repercussions that may come, or if the whole lie makes sense in its totality. Like, let me just go ahead and throw this out here real quick. And they're going to believe it because I'm a woman and he's a man. But you didn't think that all the way through. You about like Vicky White with this little inmate running around here. Like, you ain't think that all the way through. You should have did a little more concentrating on the execution of it all, because it didn't make sense. Just like the other stuff that she did. And there is a chance that there could have been some physical abuse. But the way that she is presenting the information and the other lies that she told, that's where the problem comes in at. Because when you start lying, in actuality, and I said before and I'll say it again, one lie can erase all truths. So even if there was some truth to what she was saying, because she has lied and been so manipulative and made up just so much stuff that it's hard to believe that anything that she's saying is true. Like, even if she put the pictures up and I mean she was all blacked out, then it's still the likelihood of her putting on makeup for that to be realistic. Like, that's probably what people are going to believe because she told so many lies. All those stage pictures from the pit. Exactly. And now you got people looking, especially with all of the people that testified. And on her side, all the people that, what's going on, Pap? All the people that were supposed to testify for her, they backed out, including Elon. He was like, no, I ain't touching that. Elon said she hit him too. He said, shoot, she hit me too. I ain't getting involved in that. She has a police record for, because you know she's bi. So she had another, I think she was married to the young lady. Like, she hit her. Like, you got a history of hitting people. And one of the things, another lie that she said that I didn't mention earlier, she said, I would never hurt Johnny. We listened to the videos when you were bragging about hitting him. And you're saying, well, I didn't punch you. I hit you. I didn't punch you. And this man is telling you, I know what it feels like to be punched. How are you going to try to convince me that you didn't punch me? See, she was trying to gaslight him at that particular time. You know, if you've been punched, you know if somebody hit you like this versus somebody hitting you like this. Like, you know the difference. How are you going to gaslight that man and tell him that he wasn't punched by you? And then you coming out and you're saying here, that's not what happened. You might think I punched you, but I didn't punch. Like, no. So she had the domestic dispute that was called with the female that she was involved with. She had a situation where she hit her sister. She attacked her sister. Like, you got all this stuff going on. And again, there could have been a possibility that there was some physical violence coming from him. But because of her behaviors, because of all the stuff that she has been in, because of all the lies that she has told, my goodness, it just makes it hard for her to be believed. So now you have victims, people that are saying they are real victims that are coming out saying, look, all these lies you're telling, you making us look bad. Now you got some victims coming out saying, nah, we ain't with this mess. Nah, we ain't with you on this one, Chief. We ain't with you on this one. And definitely, Jersey Girl, there it is. And she even admitted it. She admitted it on one of the recordings that she had anger issues. And Johnny was like, okay, so what are you going to do about that? And she was, I can't help it. I'm going to always have anger issues. No, the same way that you want him to go. And sometimes the groups are actually one and the same. If you want him to go and get in a group or go and join Al-Anon for his substance abuse, like, you should have. She said she joined for him. No, you needed to join for yourself because you got your own stuff going on too. Because you was down in that red wine like you was, you know what I'm saying? So you can't just put all this stuff on him. Y'all were doing that stuff together. That was community drugs. You know what I'm saying? Those were community drugs on that table. Those are community drugs. And the thing is, somebody mentioned it in here, you gonna say your sister taught him how to snort cocaine using a tampon applicator. Now you just, okay, so you were doing this stuff before he ever came along. You see what I'm saying? So by you trying to put him out there, not only did you just throw your sister under the bus, but you also let the jury know that you had already been introduced to this stuff off the rip, like before Johnny ever came in the picture. Johnny didn't get you to start messing with these mushrooms. You know, she had got so high that she was at Coachella, like she was vomiting all over the place. Like the security guard had to come and take her and try to hide what she had going on or whatever. He didn't introduce you to that. Shoot, some of the stuff, I'm wondering if you introduced him to it. You know what I'm saying? Because he had a self-admitted opioid problem. Okay, now you're bringing this other stuff in. And I agree with the attorney. I do believe she set that table up. Because she was like, well, apparently he hadn't done that part yet. I'm like, the attorney, okay, it's 4 lines here, okay? Where are the remnants from the other lines that you claim he had already did? That table was too neat. It was too neat. It was too neat. And they using that little tampon applicator. Lord, they gonna be high as a kite because they basically just taking that all in one hit. That's a big, like, I don't know. I don't know who came up with that. I ain't never heard of that, but hey, if they like it, I love it. I don't know. Right, there was no residue on the table. And then she tried to get slick with the attorney and say, I mean, you must not know how this works. And the attorney say, Well, I'm trying to find out if you do. Like, you trying to, like, it's a bad thing that I don't know how it works. Enlighten me. You know, like you're trying to be quick on your feet, but you're not being quick enough because you're not giving yourself time to think this stuff through, how it looks on your end. Because you, right now, you're looking like the user, you're looking like the abuser, you are looking like the person that was initiating all this stuff. And in those recordings, even the ones that she tried to use for herself, that her defense team presented for her, she still looked like the perpetrator in the recordings that she had. She was always the initiator. She was the bully. She was the bully in the videos that she had. Yes, handbag on the table. I peeped that too. And I wanted her to turn the driver's license over because I wanted to see who license was on that table. I want to know who those licenses belong to. Y'all see now, that's me trying to be an Inspector Gadget mode. Let's see who the license belong to. 9 times out of 10, that's who this stuff right here belongs to. And the thing is, you send a text saying this is how your morning getting started. You ain't say, oh, look at what Johnny got sitting out on the table. No, this like you and Johnny about to partake in some communion up in here. You know what I'm saying? And again, she didn't realize that she was being set up because that attorney said, oh, I see one of his little cigarettes over there. Okay, I see it hasn't been smoked. I see there are no ashes there. He smokes a lot. He really smokes a lot. Okay, so he must not have been sitting at this table because we would have seen that right there wouldn't have been there because he would have smoked that down and you would have had ashes all up in here. That was a perfect table. This was a brand new table right here. So what you saying? Johnny ain't even seen that table yet. He hadn't seen what you had in store for him for the morning because you too busy setting stuff up and sending emails and text messages out to people. That was your stuff. That was your stuff. That's why you sitting up there trying to tell the woman how this stuff's supposed to be because that was yours. You set that stuff up. You set that stuff up. And there was another good point that the attorney made. You got pictures of him being passed out on the ground. You got pictures of him with his nodding going on. He, nodding out. You got all these pictures, but you don't have one picture that actually has him in it with that cocaine. What's wrong with that story? You got a picture of everything else. You probably got pictures of him using the bathroom and everything. You got a picture of everything else, but you don't have one picture. You trying to show that he's doing all this stuff. And if he's a monster when he's using cocaine, then you would think that those would be the pictures that she would want to show him. Those would be the videos that she would want him to see. Wouldn't y'all think? If that's when he's the monster, she said he's a different monster when he's using, this cocaine versus when he's using these pills and getting high, getting all jacked up on these pills. He's a completely different person. So, he like revved up on this cocaine. So that would be the time if he's beating on her or whatever, that would be the time that I would think if it did happen, I would think it happened during that particular time. So why are there no videos or pictures during that time? When you're that monster that you're talking about, that one that you're referring to, why didn't you get any pictures or anything when that was taking place versus when he was zoned out, when he was basically a zombie from doing this stuff? Like, you got it when he was in rest mode. Why didn't you take pictures of him doing all this other stuff and this extracurricular stuff, especially when y'all were about to get divorced and you taking all this, these pictures and videos and all this stuff? That would have been the perfect evidence for you to present. But then again, maybe she didn't do it because she know that she was using right along with them. She was using right along with them. So it's hard for you to come and try to show what he's doing with that because you probably be in the picture too. Let's keep it real. You probably be in the picture too. You have to do a darn selfie, okay? It wouldn't be you taking a picture like this trying to catch him up. Nah, you in the picture. You like this doing a selfie. They're gonna have to see the stuff in the background because you sitting right beside him. And that was the thing. They asked him about the cocaine use. He said that he did cocaine with her sister before. Okay, it was 4 lines on that table. Was that one of the mornings that you, him, and the sister were all gonna be doing this stuff together? Is that what the case was? Was that for you and your sister? Since she was the one that showed him, that put him on the little tampon game, was that for y'all too? Did he have any involvement in that? Because you sent that thing like top of the morning, hun. Like this was going to be your top of the morning. Like this how you were going to get down. that morning. Like it wasn't a bad text. Like she ain't saying like it was a bad thing. Like this is how we're getting our morning started. Oh, so excited! Like this how you sending the thing. Like that's how I'm taking it. So that it bothers me when you keep bringing up this monster thing and keep calling him a monster, because I'm like, what type of monster were you? Because some of the stuff that she was putting out there, and even in some of the videos and the recordings and stuff that she had, her speech was slurred. Some of the stuff that she was saying didn't make sense. She was rambling. So I'm like, so I guess he got you when you were high too. Or maybe you got the recording and didn't realize how high you were. You recording yourself sounding all out of pocket. I don't know. But it's like the stuff that she's trying to put out there about him is a lot of the stuff that she appeared to be doing herself. And that's why I'm looking at her and I'm like, yeah, that you can't deny when Dr. Curry came with that narcissistic personality disorder. Like you cannot deny that. You cannot, any actions too, like you cannot deny that. It is there. They can sit there and try to play with it all they want to. Maybe she had PTSD from stuff that happened to her, from years prior. Shoot, she giving me PTSD right now watching this whole trial with all the stuff that she got going on. It put me in a bad place. I feel my PTSD revving back up. I don't know. But I'm just sitting up here and I'm like, yeah, Dr. Hughes, I don't mean no harm. I got respect for you, girl, but you played with the court with that diagnosis because you know that this young lady has a personality disorder. All jokes aside, you know this young lady has a personality disorder. Like, that's not even something that should even be played with, because that it's so like she can't even hide it. Maybe if you just had one conversation with her and you didn't get to see her demeanor as much as we're seeing it right now, then people might not even see it. She just seems like a jovial person and pretty young lady or whatever. But after listening to her for a while and watching her mannerisms and like literally watching her lie and not backing down from her lie, you can't with a straight face say that she doesn't have this diagnosis, and that's just being real. Like, we can't do that. We absolutely cannot. We cannot do that. Okay? She was the one who called the paparazzi when she got her restraining order. She didn't even need to be there at the court. Everything. She said, I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want everything that they got it from her. And she said, well, I didn't personally give it to him. Okay. You can go with that lie because you weren't the one that handed it to him. But you gave it to him. Okay? It's still a lie. First of all, they wouldn't know you had it. There was no way for them to possibly get it. Like, none of that. It's not for you. So I'm hoping, because she said that she is talking to people, I hope that she is getting the help that she needs, because my. So this was a conclusion of what happened today. This was just the end of the cross-examination today. You see, they stopped with the situation with Elon Musk. She had like a lot of people on that list. Some that are living. I know people said it's some of the people died, but there are some that were living, and they ain't trying to fool with her. They are not trying to fool with her, like in no way, shape, or form. They're like, nah, you ain't pulling me in this mess. It was another ex that she tried to get on there. And I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. Mm-mm. Her friend, no, I ain't doing that. No, you on your own. You done lied on me too. I ain't saying nothing. So I mean, it's a sad situation, but this is a situation that she has created for herself. And at this particular moment, I don't blame Johnny Depp for going and fighting this and standing up for himself, because it sounds like he kind of let her do her thing. And now he's made a decision to stand up for himself, and he has every right to do that. So, Lord have mercy. All right, guys. So I wanted to cover this today, and I may be back tomorrow, depending on what happens, because we're gonna have a full day of cross-examination tomorrow, and I'm gonna be at work with my little thing on the side, like, what you say? What was it? Like, I'm gonna be listening. And I'll probably come back and we'll have a discussion about this tomorrow. So if you guys found any interest in this, then try to watch some of it tomorrow so you can see this and start drawing your own conclusions about what you see going on with this. And even like go back and look at some of his testimony. Like their two testimonies are like night and day. Like, my goodness. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you got something out of it tonight. If you have not hit that like button, please hit that like button. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. So excited. If you are not a certified dime, then feel free to become a member, become a certified dime today. And I'm going to get off here. But as I always say, if you didn't get anything else out of this message tonight, I want you to get this one thing. Two things. Don't be running around here lying like this woman. That's the first thing. Tell the truth and shame the devil. You'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? You will be all right. That's the first thing. Second thing, mind your business. That's it. Mind your business. Go about your business. Be about your business. And mind your business. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time, probably tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.